Can you hear me?
Hey, Dana, I could hear you. How are
Oh,
you?
good. So, um, the title I wanted to ask you, there's some strange stuff going on YouTube, not YouTube, on X, um, with with the with the communities or something. So, and remember I asked you earlier, is it okay to have the word racist in the title?
Yep.
That's not a red flag or nothing, is it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you're not saying anything inherently hateful, right? You're not engaging in hate speech by just asking a question or having the word racist. So, yeah, I
I do
think it
know
should be
there's
fine.
I do know there are like certain words though,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, like I was saying earlier, we saw Tommy's account get suspended. He had about 40,000 followers.
How did he
Um,
get suspended off X?
I don't know. This was a day after he did that space on Kanye. So,
Oh
who
wow.
knows?
So
Yeah.
listen, so here's the thing though, because it is a question, and I think some people may be curious of why I'm asking that question or where I'm going, and then some people probably already assume they think they know where I'm going, but I'm not. Now I'll also put hashtag sinners, hashtag tethers, hashtag Shannon Sharpe, because we're gonna kind of be touching on all three. The movie Sinners, you told me you seen it, right?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. It was great. I saw it in the IMAX. It was really good.
Yeah, it was. And I did a review. How did you like my YouTube when I did a review on it?
I liked it. I liked how you went into Ryan Coogler's past and
Hmm.
his his filmography, and then
Okay.
talking about what he said about FBAs.
Yeah, because I get nervous though. I have to practice. I have to practice when I do like my solo podcast shows. But so, of course, if people want to, bring the movie into this topic, and I got something for you, Peter, too, because we're going to dig. You're part of this question, so don't feel as though you're not included because I have my notes and I'm going to read down the notes. I'm trying to wait for a little bit more people to come in. Hi, Dee. Hi, Barb on YouTube. Hi, Helen Mel on YouTube. And shout out to everybody on YouTube. And guys, please repost and like this space. And I kind of want to be done by midnight because, and what happens is a lot of times we end up going over. Um, because people come in later and kind of sometimes that's when they get good. But I want to start kind of forcing people into the habit of, okay, she does 3 hour spaces or whatever. But anyway, are Black people racist enough? Enough. So that means I'm already answered question as to yes, Black people can be racist, not in a typical sense of white supremacy or when we look at history, what had happened to us here. However, my notes that I wrote down, because if people try to push back and say, no, we can never be racist because of what happened to us here, that's BS. Because number one, we're racist between ourselves, within our own group, i.e., first example, the brown paper bag test. Yes. And if you are a Black person and you know anything about our history or culture, you know about the brown paper bag test, which was invented by Black people, especially when you're talking about the sororities and the fraternities and stuff like that. Colorism always ran rampant in our community, even to this day. So even if you want to say, oh, the white man started it, well, Black people, we kept it going throughout the centuries here in America. So colorism. And then when we talk about classism, a lot of people, don't like boule. So you have the boule, you have the regular middle class, you have poor Black people, what I call, it could be, some of them could be ghetto trash, hood rats, or whatever. And a lot of that sometimes has to do with your social economic status or just your behavior. So far, brown paper bag, colorism, and classism. Now, BET, black owned, but end up being sold to Viacom, a white corporation. And now look, you have black men wanting to buy it, but now it seemed like they didn't want Diddy, they didn't want Tyler Perry to purchase it, trying to repurchase it back. So when BET was sold to in the white hands or well corporations, you look at the quality of the content being pushed out. And I am going to put a couple of things in the jumbotron that's referencing a lot of stuff that's what we're going to be talking about today. And did you guys know George Michael was the first, probably the only white artist to actually win R&B Artist of the Year at the American Music Awards? He beat out Whitney Houston. Did black people push back? No, because during that time in the 80s, this was like in 87, black people really wasn't dealing. They didn't like Whitney Houston. So again, when we talk about racism and you only pin it on white people, we never look to see the behaviors, that we've done within our own group. And now let's go to the tethers, right? And not all black immigrants or Africans or Caribbeans are tethers, but let's just go to Africa when we talk about the different African tribes. It wasn't no kumbaya. How many different African tribes in different countries in Africa have beef and war against each other? Rwanda, the Hutu against the Tutus or whatever, a complete genocide. And also, I saw a video on YouTube, and I'm gonna put that in the jumbotron. Apparently, in Ghana, the Ghan, the Ghanaians, that's how you pronounce people from Ghana. They are discriminating against Black Americans that moved there. They had this whole marketing campaign of what was it? Come back home, some BS. And then a lot of black people did move there and wanted to buy land, but apparently they give black Americans a separate section of land and separate them from the native people of Ghana. And then at one point, I heard that they were taking some of the farmland from the native people of Ghana and giving it to Black Americans. However, there have been reports and TikTok videos of the people of Ghana segregating themselves from Black Americans. So you Africans, y'all racist too. So I'm throwing everybody throughout the diaspora in this pot. So, but why did I ask this question? So I just laid out the different tactics and behaviors that Black people can be labeled as racist. So I asked the question, but are Black people racist enough? Meaning, when you look at other groups, they protect their culture, their history, and their status, especially when it comes to economics and education, and they don't let people win. But when we look at Black Americans, we welcome everybody in our community. So maybe we need to be a little bit more racist as to let's build our own selves up first before we welcome everybody in open arms. Because when we do, just like in the movie Sinner, when that lead vampire Remnick wanted to come in because he wanted to suck out the talent, the soulness of Sammy and others, so that he could claim it himself. And so when you saw Smokes, he's like, "You're not coming in. You're not coming in." So, which can be a form of discrimination or whatever, but it's a reason why you lock out other people from your group. That's just how society is. We all have some type of prejudice, racism, discriminatory ism within us. That's just how society operates. That's how it was created that way, to keep people separated so that the powers can stay in power. So the question is, are Black people racist enough to actually get this shit together and build up a strong economic progress, and make sure that we are providing a brighter future for our children? Because if we're not, it's just going to get one. Here's you, Peter. Peter, you're a Sicilian. You are considered at one point. I don't know if they still call Sicilian this, but Wasn't they Sicilians? Niggas was straight here. Neapolitans looked down on Sicilians, and the Neapolitans was of northern Italy, with just about probably all of Italy, because Sicily is like a little island off of Italy or something like that. But yeah, Neapolitans didn't fuck with Sicilians because you have a whole lot of African blood in you, thanks to Hannibal. So you could get in on this too, Peter, because technically you're one of us. Yes. Maybe a tether, but you're one of us. So listen, if you guys please, like I said, like, repost this space on YouTube, please like and comment. And if you want to send a super chat, please do so. And if you want a request to come up, please do so as well. So let's open up this conversation. You want to say something, Peter, before we go to Michael?
Yeah, you're spot on in regards to that. That's why, a lot of times I do say it, and I'm kind of half kidding and tongue in cheek, but I'm really not, because we face nowhere near the discrimination, obviously, and the overt racism and the terribleness of slavery that FBAs did. But we did just face discrimination when we came over here. Um, and it was apparently known, but the signs they put up, no wops needed, no wops needed for work. Wops was without papers. And then another slur was, that we were grease balls because, we had greasy skin and stuff like that. So definitely, that is a major component of also why people look down upon Sicilians when they first came over. And we have a name for the regular, or the, I guess, boule Italians, which would be the Mitigans. And the Mitigans would look down their nose at the Sicilian immigrants that came over. So yeah, there's a storied history there as well, and which is why I don't consider myself white. Right? I'm not WASP. I don't align with the ideology of that, and we have a different mindset, which is a lot of times more in line with the mindset of FBAs. So yeah.
And one more thing, because this is the main attraction title that I put on YouTube, and I did hashtags Shannon Sharpe. I forgot to mention this. Yes, we want to talk about Shannon Sharpe. Coon ass. Uncle Coon, aka Shannon Sharpe, aka Uncle Coon. Shannon Sharpe fired from ESPN, doing too much. Doing too much. He's giving millions of dollars to a 20-year-old snow bunny. Fired from ESPN. He is probably one of the oldest, dumbest perverts ever. And I'm not kicking dirt on her. She's doing what she's supposed to do. She saw a lick, honey, right? And she's about to get paid, as she should, because he's just giving it away. So again, if black people are racist, maybe he would have vetted her a little bit. Maybe he wouldn't be in the situation. Now you have another woman coming out saying he choked me at Fox when he was over on Fox Sports. He has his bodyguard coming out saying, well, he met that white girl when she was at a Diddy party. And yeah, so it's a lot of stuff that's coming out. So of course we could definitely talk about the Shannon Sharpe. So yeah. So hi Michael.
Hey, what's going on, Dana? What up? Peter, what's
How
good?
are you?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Yo, I checked out that movie too, man. That was a good movie. Had a lot of messages, man. But pertaining to this topic, man, is black people racist enough? I mean, my whole thing is, man, for the black race to even be racist, it's just a joke to me, man. Like, and racist among each other is the big joke, like. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Especially these FBAs, man. In 2025, like, to be racist, I think it's like a mental illness. I understand, you know what I'm saying, you separating and have your own culture. If you were African, if you were a Black American, and wherever you from, I understand that, but it's a way to go about being how you want to separate. I'm like, me, I done experienced so much racism just this year on this app. You know what I'm saying? And I never dealt with racism really in my life. You know what I'm saying? But are they racist enough? Um, yeah, I think black people are racist enough, and I think they need to stop being racist. And we don't all have to come together. We could all separate, but just go about it a different way. That's just my take on it.
I forgot. That's right. You are Jamaican, right?
Yeah, man, I'm
Both
Jamaican.
your parents Jamaican?
Nah, I mean my mom is American and she Jamaican. My dad is full Jamaican. I only got a little bit of American in me. I got about like 35, 25% of
Well, how? I
Black
mean, if
American.
your mother was born here, but were her parents Jamaican or no?
Okay, so my mom dad was American. My mom was Jamaican.
Okay. So, even though it's no such thing as Jamaican blood, it's more so nationality and culture. But you
Right.
Jamaicans, y'all practice racism within your own group as well.
I mean,
Stop it.
all right. So, okay, me growing up, what my dad used to tell me is that like Jamaicans that live in the countryside, like people. Okay, so Jamaicans that live in the city part, which is called town, will look down on Jamaicans that live in the countryside. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. But that's just like you know, to me, that's like somebody being from New York and then somebody being from like some let me see Iowa or something. They like you Iowa niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's not really racist, but the racism on this app with these FBA motherfuckers,
It's a cultural difference.
man.
It's
So,
a cultural difference.
one second, RC, and please let's have a rule to everybody. Stay on your mic till I get to you because it plays better on YouTube. And I'm about that monetization. However, it's like, okay, you're saying that the way Black Americans FBA have came at you or treated you because you say you're Jamaican. I think that's unfair. I don't call anybody a tether unless they are talking down about my culture here. But if you are, if you respect our culture and everything and our history and stuff like that, then I have respect for you. But
Right.
while we're there coming at you, at one point, did you say anything negative
Hey
about?
yo, Dana, the only thing I never said nothing negative. Yo, when I first came on this app, I didn't even know that this whole FBA shit was going on. I didn't even know nothing about a tether. I was like, yo, I'm black. They was like, no, you're not black. I'm like, what? Kind of like fucked my mind up. But when I thought about it, what they was saying, I'm like, okay, I gotta respect it. I gotta respect it. But at the same time, like, all right, you see how they got the word tether? It's like no different from how the white person came up with nigger. To me, in my eyes, starting to seem like it's kind of like on point a little bit.
So you didn't. Okay, so you just got a lot of pushback, and that didn't sit right with you. I mean, listen, have you pushed back against other Jamaicans that look down on you and certain parts of the island, whether it was the poor
I,
parts,
I mean, well,
Shanty Town, what they call it, Shanty Town?
like I never really dealt with no racism from
Because you weren't,
Jamaicans
but all
though.
right, so because you didn't grow up in Jamaica, you grew up here.
Right, but you all right? So I got some Jamaicans that'll tell me like they'll say that I'm not Jamaican because I ain't I haven't grown up on the island. They'll be like,
Exactly.
you ain't Jamaican. You feel me? You don't. They'll say you don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
what can I say? But but
Exactly.
y'all can't say I can't claim Jamaican.
So
They won't
King,
tell me
so
that.
so so again, so it's like, okay, you have a problem with certain FBA people calling you a tether, but at the same time, I think all the fingers need to be pointed at you, at them, at everybody, because you were discriminated against with your own people as well.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but okay. So, all right, this FBA shit, right? Like the way how they going about this shit. This shit is This shit is way more
But with
than.
how they, it's just talk. It's just commentary on X. There's no organization. There's no groups. There's no public policies. It's just
All
talk.
right. So okay, so you remember when Mark Carter was in here that day, and he
Yeah.
said, and remember I was coming at him about that KKK comment. Like I kind of think that shit is like y'all going way overboard about this shit. That's why people was saying that y'all are a black racist group. Like when Fat Joe came out and said, "Yo, these niggas is a black racist group." He's not saying that because he just coming up with that. He's saying that because how y'all are how FBAs are going on about these the immigrants. He's not just coming out and just saying, "Oh yeah, y'all just a racist group." It's how they going about it. You know what I'm saying? They to me, it seemed like y'all like FBAs are adopting what they learned from the people who enslaved them in America. Like,
How so, Mike?
Well,
How
Des,
how
I'm
so?
sorry, Des, you gotta stay on your mic. You gotta stay on your mic. When it's your turn, you could. Well, when he's done, you could rebuttal. So here's the thing, and then if you're done, I'll open the floor if anybody want to rebuttal or whatever, and then we're gonna go to RC, Lovely, and Des. But here's the thing though. Um, yes, we learned from our white counterparts, but so have Jamaicans, and I'm saying Jamaicans because you're Jamaican. So have you learned from England? Yes.
facts.
So we are going to learn, and I think we should learn from the quote unquote oppressor or someone who you chose to be oppressed. Sometimes that is a choice. So yes, we did learn from that. And I think that how about you learn from it and use it to your benefit? So are black people racist enough? No, we're not. In a sense of we are not doing enough for self. So if you were done, Michael, I think Des wanted to push back or whatever. It did, but I want to go to RC if he's still up here. Yeah.
Yeah, let Dez go. Go ahead.
Right,
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead,
right.
bro. This
Good
is
night.
this is
This RC. I am from Barbados.
No, no.
I
Are
is a
you?
Bajan.
Wait. Hold
So,
on. You know what, Des? Just hold on for a second. Let me go to RC. Let me, because I thought you was going to say something to what Michael was saying. So just go. Stay there, Des. Go. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
Dana, that is RC. RC was already going.
Oh, he was.
oh, sorry,
Yep.
Oh,
sorry,
that was
sorry,
RC.
sorry.
I'm
So somebody
sorry.
was
I'm sorry.
talking before me. Then go
Go,
ahead.
go ahead, RC. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You
Go
have the
ahead, Des.
floor. Go ahead.
Right. So I'm saying that is right. You are right. I am a Barbadian, Bajan. We all know who Barbados country is. That island thing in the country, right? Right now, the way that I see the world is race, that racism, that color thing is old school. That is so way back in the day thing. It is all about who has the influence, however they get that influence, and that is for the most part it. So everybody's focusing on race. They think nobody don't care about race these days. All people want to know is whether how much how you can help me get forward or whatever thing. It is only us what I would call, and I am a black person, us foolish, what I call us foolish black people that still caught up on that race nonsense thing when everybody else for what we would call donkey years in like decades, half centuries type of thing, where everybody else still move on. We still stuck in this little thing trying to put on one another. Don't know if I made any sort of sense in the conversation, but that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Lovely.
Hey, you can hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm somewhere with my service. So, are black people racist enough? I don't think that you can still hear me.
yeah. We can hear you.
Yeah, we
Hello?
hear
Yes,
you.
yes, 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 yes.
I don't think black people can be racist, to be honest. I feel like racism is a construct that was never created by us. It's not anything that we benefit from. I do think that we can be prejudiced as fuck, even amongst each other. I think that we can be prejudiced. That's what I think.
Are you at the bodega, lovely? Where you at?
No, I'm somewhere where someone's being loud as fuck.
No F's.
It's
I mean,
not.
we on
It's
YouTube.
it's
No
it is
F's.
Nutcracker season though now, right? The Nutcrackers are out.
Um, well, but we've practiced racism, brown paper bag, colorism, classism, selling,
That's bigotry.
selling.
That's not racism, though,
All right.
Dana.
Didn't I just say stay on your mic? I told you I'm really not going through this. I'm not. I don't want retarded people up here speaking. I just don't. Everybody needs to stay on their mic until it's your turn to speak. I need for this to flow a certain way for algorithm purposes. Selling your businesses to white corporations, and then you watch the content go down in the tank, normalizing degeneracy. And I gotta find this Instagram and put it in the jumbotron. It was this black girl, and she was like, "We're the only group of people that create a safe haven for ratchetness. Whether we giving an excuse or whether you saying, oh, that's okay. Oh, don't be so hard on it. We're the only group of people that do that. Yes, every group of people have their own section or groups of ratchet ghetto people. But they try to hide that. They never bring that to the forefront. But we're the only ones that that embrace it, that show it. And so yeah, we do practice it in the past, and that lingers on to the present. But I hear you, lovely. um you want to sit tight? Go ahead, Des. And then the black.
Yeah, I'm gonna just again with Lovely and hey Michael. I thought you were, I thought you were a little sharper than that, man. That as far as being more, it's not possible. I mean, we hold some biases, and our conservatism can be skewed, but being racist in a society that we just now finding our foot and getting our feet up under us, it's like that would be counterproductive to be or even like say, can we be more racist? Hey, the it's no, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
But it's working.
What, us being racist?
Yeah, another prime example. Why is it
Hey,
that
look,
why is
hey,
it
hey,
that
Dana, I agree with you. I agree with you though, as bringing accountability back. I'm fully on board with that, all the way around. Is that there's some things as far as in the black community that yeah, we should bring accountability back to the forefront. And I mean, in quite a few areas, from education to uh, morality, character, integrity. Yeah, we should bring all of these things back. I mean, ain't nobody saying that you still can't get a little dirt on you, but have some decorum about it. You don't have to put it on blast. You don't have to let everybody know about it. Everything ain't for the world. We done got into this position that we think that the internet is our counselor. We can get good guidance from the internet, and that's not true. So it's not giving safe haven. It's just that has become the sounding board for uh, what we think is Black American culture, and it ain't. This is just like a peek in a window. It ain't the full complexity of our culture at all. It just we got a bunch of motherfuckers out, like Michael saying that.
don't say the F word.
Okay, like Michael saying that he's been treated in a racially biased fashion by black people. Hey, Michael, and I thought you were sharp, dog. I can't believe you said some shit out your mouth like that.
Nah,
So let me
there's on some real though. On some real, there's like I haven't experienced this. I be hearing people say, "Oh, nah, I ain't having no baby with no outside race. I ain't trying to fuck up that FBA bloodline." What the fuck?
FBA
Is
is
everybody retarded? I'm convinced. What is it that y'all don't understand? Do not say that. That is my two rules I have in my spaces. Maybe three. Don't say the F word. Stay on your mic and don't disrespect women. Can we have can grown adults have a conversation without you saying the F word? And this is what I'm talking about. Are you racist enough? Because if you were racist enough and you have more pride, I don't care if you Caribbean, African, or FBA or whatever the hell you want to call yourself, where you come from. If you have more pride, then you can understand that I could talk and hold a conversation without saying F. Just one word. I'm not saying that shit or asshole. I'm just saying the F word. Why is that so hard? Every week, every space. You know why? Because y'all get in these other spaces and they let y'all you just rip with ignorant, stupid stuff, cussing and all this other stuff because that's what it is. And then you want to run and hide and say, "Well, you picking on me because I'm Jamaican or because I'm this." No, I'm including you Jamaicans, you Caribbeans, you Africans on this because you're racist too. You are. And it's funny though, because make no mistake about it. Yes, my topics in the future will be getting on white people. But every time when you turn the spotlight on a group, or is this group racist or whatever the case may be, no one wants to take accountability. Because if it was are white people racist enough, and the white people come up, they'll be being denied just like black people are. So stop the cat, but stop saying the F word. Like,
My bad, Dana.
jeez.
My bad, y'all. I ain't even know.
What you were saying, Michael?
Nah, I'm just saying. I done heard people say some things on this app where you'll look at them like, "Damn, are you're a black racist?" The stuff that you saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I hear crazy things that I never heard from, and I got a lot of black. I grew up with a lot of black Americans because I thought I was a black American too, but you know what I'm saying? I done heard stuff that I never heard before on this app. And it's just, if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a duck.
But Michael, I'm going deeper than this app. I'm not even focusing on this app. I'm focusing on societal behavior, on societal thinking. So I'm going off the app. And see, and that's how I know social media is not just bad for younger people, kids, it's bad for adults because we are consumed with what people say on this app. I'm talking about out in the real world. I'm talking about how, whether on a micro and macro.
I mean,
So,
I'm like out in the real world, I'm gonna be real though. Like, I don't really be dealing with no racism in the real world. Like, not even from white. Well, not really. You could tell when somebody don't like you. You know what I'm saying, regardless of color. But you know what I'm saying? In the real world, I really don't even be dealing with racism like that. That's real. Nobody don't
but you
open their
do.
mouth to say nothing to me.
We do deal with racism from our own. It may look different. But for example, since we're talking about the app real quick, if you on this app, people will literally try to report your space if they don't like the content or like what you're saying. I had somebody create a poll: Are you going to still support Dana content? Well, why not? And if you don't like it, don't listen. But people, when you take the initiative to actually do harm or try to stop progress of someone, that is an act of racism, of an ism, to where you're trying to be in more power over that person to dictate what that person do or say. And black people have practiced that. Go ahead, the black.
What's going on, Dana, Peter, everybody in the space? Y'all make sure y'all retweet this shit. It's 36 people in this motherfucker.
Nigga. Are you serious? Peter, is it me?
I think it's not, they're not doing it on purpose. They're just so used to
I
talking.
think they are doing that shit on purpose. I just gave a whole spiel, and he was up here as speaker. I gave a whole spiel on the F word. But then people want to get up. We're not racist. Well, I think black people could be retarded, especially the ones up here on X. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why are people so fascinated with that? I curse a lot. But if I could hold my tongue and control myself, why can't you?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was at the casino a couple weeks ago with a friend of mine, and I was showing him how to play craps. He never played before, and he got so excited playing it, he kept saying the F word every time he would roll, even though the pit boss was like, "You can't say the F bombs. Watch the F bomb," and he would literally not be able to watch saying it. So I think it's something in people's brains where they just revert to saying it because they're used to saying it so openly and freely.
You
I'm
want?
sorry, Dana.
Let's try this again.
Hello, Dana. Hey, don't Peter.
Hey,
Y'all make sure y'all retweet the space. It's only 38 people.
yeah, like and
But
retweet the space, please. Bookmark it as well so we could push it
Don't
out, get some more
say
people
any
in here.
curse words.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't think we practice racism enough. I feel like we practice too much classism and uh colorism a little bit. But I feel like it's the more I understand racism, I feel like it's nothing wrong with it. It's protecting your ethnic group, your community, whichever you see fit, or however you explain what your community is. I I feel like we don't practice it the proper way. It's more to an advantage to other people than it is to us when you really look at it. Because when we practice it, it's more of a classism, colorism type of thing. Where once we get to a certain level, uh, it's more of the people that you're dealing with and who can benefit what you trying to build, which is understandable because we live in a capitalist system. You got to deal with people that's on your level. But I feel like if we do more community economics like other groups do, then we'll be better. It, because we're more bigoted and uh, prejudiced than actual racists. Because we don't trust any group. If you kind of look at it, we barely trust each other sometimes. We gotta actually get to know you and uh make you our extended family. Then, you know what I'm saying, our circumstances change. But when it comes down to dealing with other groups of people or other ethnic groups, I feel like we too open and we too hard on each other. So yeah, we need to practice racism towards other people more, but in a strategic way, kind of like how our Caucasian counterparts do. They use other white groups to their need, just like I feel like we need to use other outside black groups to our need. And if they don't want to go with those guidelines, then hey, y'all can go back to where you actually come from and represent that. Because you over here, you if you become a citizen, you got to pledge allegiance to our country and disown your old country. So I feel like when you come here, yeah, you conform to the laws and the standards that each group makes for their group. And the more we get to that, the more it be better. And everybody, I feel like everybody will feel more. I'm trying to find the word. The more have more pride within their own group, because all we doing is trying to build ethnic pride within each other. Because back in the day, when we was fighting for civil rights, you was called either a race bait or a race man. You know what I'm saying? When you was fighting for the people of your group. So what's wrong with fighting for your actual group and trying to maintain it and keep that lineage or that family tree strong? But yeah, I'm sorry for the F word, Dana. Next time, if I say another one, I'ma donate. But I'm gonna make sure I don't say nothing. But I still
Oh yeah, I
donate.
forgot to force people to do the super chat type of thing. But yeah, yeah, no, it's no problem. So also with this question, because actually it's a friend of mine who was like, you should definitely talk about this or whatever. And when we was talking about the whole concept of this title and the question, are Black people racist enough? It's also to push back against other groups to not to not include other people within your group. Now I get what Michael was saying, like, yeah, I'm Jamaican and there's Black people that don't want to include me or try to alienate me. But aside from that, when Jewish people, when they create communities, they don't outright say no Black, no Hispanic can't live here. No, they buy up everything and they're sell it to someone at their temple or whatever. They keep everything in house, so they're not outwardly or you know verbally saying it out loud, but their actions, right? Their actions are showing that it is about us first, second, and last. It's about us. It's about my people. When you look at a lot of these anti-Semitism executive orders that the Trump administration is passing, when you look at APEC, when you look at what's going on in Israel right now, so a lot of people want to sit up here and look at the word racist and be like, "Ooh, it's a spooky word," but when people practice that, when it comes to their group, a lot of times it's group economics, what Dr. Claude Anderson was trying to educate Black people on, you know, coming together, bringing your resources together to uplift your specific group. And what is wrong with that? So that's another aspect to this title. Are Black people racist enough? No, because we are not enclosing ourselves to build up, especially economically within our community, because the door is always wide open for everybody. Um, RC, you had your hand up. And then, too, I do want to talk about Shannon Sharpe. And if anybody want to talk about the movie Sinners as well. So there's other stuff on the table.
Dana, can I
Um,
can I ask you something real quick before you like go to her?
yeah.
Who said that you have to be racist to build up economically though? Because like you don't have to be racist to build your group. I'm talking about I'm talking about to all groups, any group period, white, black, Caribbean, whatever, Spanish. You do not have to be racist to build your group. You could build your group and just be a honest person. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you're gonna be if you're racist, right? That's basically saying I'm not gonna accept money from another set of group because they're not my people. That's a loss. That's just a loss right there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Um, yeah, I hear you. But the thing is, you look at other groups, whether it's Italians, Jewish people, even Indians from India. When you look at these groups, even like we could even put Muslims, Arabs, they they take money from other people. You could patronize their business, but their money is going back to their community. So wherever they build, they make sure that their own is coming to live in their neighborhood to build up a community. And when you build up a community, you are politically electing officials that are you, that are going to represent your needs. Look at the Somalian community in Minnesota. And apparently in Ohio, some city somewhere, they got a wave of Black Muslim Somalians or whatever, coming in and they're electing officials. So people practice group racism, if that's a thing. Maybe I need to reword that. They do practice it. Yes, I would take your money if you patronizing me. I will give you service, but I own this building, most likely in my community where I live at. But if it's in your community, like the Asians in the Black community, they don't live in that community. So that money that they're making off of you is going back to their people. They're not sharing the wealth in your community. So if can you go and what's that place in Brooklyn where's the Jewish community? Crown Heights, with a large Jewish part of Brooklyn. A black person can't go in there and open up a business. They have their own school systems. They have their own police department. They own all of the buildings and the homes.
So can I ask a
So
question?
go ahead.
So I understand what you are saying, and we black people have not done that same type of thing, whereby we don't pull together and try to move forward together. We of the mentality that if my neighbor getting through, he making more money than me. I sit down here. If I can pull him down to keep him from moving forward, instead of pulling with him that all of us can go forward, that is what I call our black people thing. I'm not about this black people thing. Because to me that is a race thing that has been used by us and everybody else to keep us down. Because we can pull together when we choose to, when we have the, when we are forced to. When we are forced to, we pull together better than anybody else as that people. It takes a lot of effort to pull us together.
I hear you.
But I think you also see it in like so I see it at least in with colleagues, right? So depending on what field you're in, I'm in on alternative finance. So when we have
Hold on. Can I excuse a minute, right? Right, right now in this day and age, right? Race and all that sort of stuff is so old school back in the or the back in the 90s, early 2000s, whatever time you want. That is the back in the old time days. What we could do, right? Now it is about what you can do, what you can offer, what your skills are. Like right now, right? We are all talking on a chat online. Nobody knows what any race that person is. Well, apart from how we talk, you can then pick up the race a certain way, but nobody knows what we look like in real life. So you could be talking to a white, brown, green, an alien for all you know. So why are we on still on this racism thing? And racism is a color thing. You know, like you is a black, white, Indian, Mexican, whatever the race is. We need to get past that. It's about
Why? Why should we get past it? Why?
because keeping us down. Us as black people, because we as black people, we look at other persons and say, well, look, man, that person there, he grew up next door to me. How it is that he get a bigger house than me, and I working hard, 24 hours a day with a job, I getting it, right? And he working, cutting grass and thing, and he got 2 or 3 houses, all this other stuff. That's how we, as to me, black people one another, we what I would call grudge minded, right? And we don't think about none of us would ask that person, how do you, I see you doing something, right? You better sell drugs that way. The person, I just work hard cutting grass. I cut X amount of grass a day, every week, or whatever. I take it and do this and do this, and I build up my business. That is the thing that us
I
black
think you're
people.
painting, and I get it. I get what you're saying. But see, you're painting a kumbaya. Let's all come together and love one another, and we can,
No,
and
no,
we
no, no, no,
should.
no, 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 no. I am not saying kumbaya, come on. Do not pull one another down. We like to pull each other down. So like if for instance like I will use you as a thing, right? Then right, you are I know you have a channel up and coming and word right at you know right and can have potential. And there will be people that will be jealous of you. Again, with the thought secret with thing, however, to bring down the numbers so that it don't look like that's what we as unfortunately that's what we as black people do. Other races that I know do not do that. We are the only race that I know that does that tries to pull our fellow members down. I go among white Indians, however, that they are we are loving and we talk and we chat at them, right? But when it comes to money, we all hold our money close. Like I remember the conversation where guys said, "Well, or with if you had to get money and there's no banks, whatever, nothing that you could go and get money." One man said, "Well, he got maybe like $1,000, whatever, cause all the money in the bank." Another one said, "Well, look, he could go and check this person or that person," and then another person said, "Well, look, he got bum, all sorts of people that he could go and check because you know it is a family type atmosphere, or they have that sort of trust level. That we as black people do not have that level. We just don't trust each other."
Yes, you're absolutely right. We don't trust each other. We don't trust each other, and that is because of a whole that I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole, but we don't trust each other. And if you trust
Right,
each other, if
correct,
we
because we
trust
ain't
each
going
other,
on that
one
rabbit
second,
hole.
one second, because and then I have to go to Kevin Immortal. If we trust each other, maybe our quote unquote racism will be stronger like other groups of people. Maybe we'll be working together more. Now, listen, I don't want certain people living around me. Even if where I live at is pretty much kind of mixed, well, basically just white, black. However, even if it was all black, I want certain types of black people living around me. Just because you're black, that doesn't mean you could live around me. So
Sorry,
I do practice
whether
prejudiceism
no, but I
within
am
black
not
groups.
about that. If I don't have a problem with you being around me as long as you are respectful and
Yeah, exactly. But that's the
right.
point that I'm making,
That's all you
RC.
need
That's
to
the
do.
Wait, hold on. That's the point that I'm making. I don't want you living around me if you don't know how to make sure your house on the outside is clean, that you're not littering, that you know, if you I don't want you living around me if you don't know how to have proper landscaping, the music, if your music is loud, I don't want you living around me. If you're sitting outside on your porch, hanging out on the lawn, I don't want none of that. I don't want,
That means that I
violence.
can't live next door to you then.
I don't want none of that. So I don't want certain
I can't live
people.
next door to you.
What?
You need to live in the outback.
What?
You need to go in some way outback place and live by yourself with your music out in the place where if something happen to you, you can stand up in there and nobody ain't gonna know what's going on with you. Right.
Okay. All right. Just mute up for a second, RC. I have to go to Kev and Immortal, and then I'm gonna swing back to you, the black. And if anybody want to talk about Shannon Sharp, please do. Go ahead, Kev.
Good evening, y'all. How
Sorry.
y'all doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I
All
said
right,
sorry.
all is well. Um, on this issue, as far as us black people being racist enough, I think the word racist, we've been we, we all look at it in history as being a negative term because of the way it's been used against us. So I would like to look at it as two things: hate and love. So the people in power are mostly, people of white uh, color or Caucasians or other ethnicities that you want to say who have money and they can control power. So their bias, their racism, their hate, which it really is hate. If somebody comes to you respectfully and lives respectfully around you, but you treat them different just off the color of their skin, okay, that's hate. And we have too much of it already in the black community. That's one reason why a lot of statistics, and you want to look at it, don't look good for us. You look at all the killings that happened in Chicago by us. How many has been this year so far already? I mean, we have a lot of problems that, we don't respect the nuclear family. It's a few things that we have to build on ourselves first, but we can, everybody has stereotypes. White people may have stereotype that they might be better golfers. We might be stereotype we better basketball players. Just it's just the stereotypes. We all gonna have it, but how you act towards each other. Now, like you said, I agree. I want people who act right in my neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood. We have a decent, nice, neighborhood. It's mixed right now, and I have neighbors around me, 3 or 4 that's black, that's right directly around me, and we all get along good and everything. If they were the type where I'm from in Decatur, Georgia, back in the '80s kind of thing, no, I don't want that. I don't want it. The culture of a lot of black people, the culture that we want to tie our black culture to, is just detrimental to us, man. It's killing us. It's making us victim minded. Every time something happened that we don't like, oh, they racist. Sometimes it's just how you act. Sometimes it's how you carry yourself. Sometimes it's how easily triggered you get when somebody says something and how you reply to them. And somebody looking from afar be like, okay, yeah, I see how that is. Cause I don't want to deal with it either. I got kids to raise, a wife. We trying to, about to be 13 years in next month as far as marriage. And I want to be able to teach my girls the right way to be, regardless of what color and all this. I want them to understand the hate that comes toward them because we teaching them love. You can't, the hate going back and forth. How's that doing for us? How we going to win with that? We not. So bottom line, I understand your point. I just think the word racist, being more racist is not the answer. It's more having more love for ourselves. Now, some people have different ways they think about religion and God. Um, I think God is love at the bottom line, end of the day, whatever religion you're talking about. So that's where we need to go. This worldly stuff, we're not going to catch up as far as hate with them. We have more power. We got more blacks making more money than any time in life before. But we missing the love, man. We missing the love. And that's what it is. God been taken out of schools, it's been taken out of workplace, etc. And we just need to get back to that. We can focus on that first. Everything else will work out.
And let me. I'm gonna
What
start
what
asking.
what what
I'm
what
gonna
what
start.
what 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 what
Who was that?
The
what?
Caribbean crazy man.
Space for
Yo, RC, you gotta like stay on your mic. Like I don't know what was that. Like
I dropped him. He had a spasm or something.
yeah, like I know he has. I think he has like a speech impediment with a heavy Caribbean accent. So I give him, his time to talk. Um, and I wanted to ask Kev, what are your thoughts on Shannon Sharpe? Because nobody didn't even bring him up.
Oh man. With him, he's a victim of his own actions in a sense, because he talks so much about giving advice about how to deal with younger women. Don't date your age, date your wage. All these different little sayings he had, and I do think it's messed up how, she's doing it. Of course, I don't quite believe everything that's going on with what she's saying. Of
I
course,
think it's great how she's doing it. I
well,
support.
yeah. I mean, you can look at it either way. I look at it. The reason why I say that is because I don't know all of the facts yet, but I'm just saying that. Bottom line to me, the one thing I do get out of it is he put himself in this position, and so I can't feel sorry for him for whatever happens. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, like with Shannon Sharpe, like as a black man, I'm standing with him. But as a father with daughters, it's like,
right?
man, where are your morals at, bro? Like,
Yep,
I don't think no father should date a woman younger than his daughter. You know what I'm saying?
that's true. That's
Like,
true.
where your morals at, bro? Like, it's no amount of money can make me. When I mean morals, no amount of money can make me do certain things. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, but Mike, you wouldn't date a 25 or 26-year-old if you were 55 or 60 years old?
Yo, if I'm like, listen, she got to be 10 years older than my daughter, man. That's just my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? That's just my
They,
stance as a man. You know what I'm saying? My morals. You know what
they,
I'm saying?
So
they
I
used
want
to
to
say
go.
half your age plus 7 or half your age plus 10. That's what
Well,
they old heads used to say. But
I want to go to Immortal.
Okay. It says, are black people racist
Are you on a
enough?
speaker? And well, of course. Are you on a
Not,
Bluetooth? Are you on a Bluetooth?
not on the speaker or Bluetooth.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, are black people racist enough? And my answer to that is black people are not racist at all. And it's important to define terms when we are having conversations like this, because like some people in the room might think that racism has to do with how you feel or your emotions of love and hate, or you know bad mean things that you might say to another person. That's not racism. And I put what I understand to be the definition of racism, which is synonymous with white supremacy. I put it in the blue pill. uh, so racist enough? No, I don't think we're racist at all. um, the previous person gave his submission and he began to speak on stereotypes of Black Americans, specifically stereotypes of us. Um, but Black Americans, we don't have any criminal element within our community any greater than any other community. Every ethnicity has criminals. So do we. And we don't have more of them than anyone else. Uh, Relatively, you understand? Relatively, we don't have more criminals than anyone else. And relatively, they don't do any more damage than anyone else. For example, and then another thing he mentioned was, you know, marriage and we don't respect the nuclear family. That's a whole thing going on in the United States of America. No, none of these people who become Americanized really care about the nuclear family at all. I didn't
we're
interrupt.
talking about just black people, though. I'm talking about just black people.
You
I ain't
gotta
talking
stay on
about
your
anybody
mic.
else.
You have to stay on your mic.
I didn't interrupt anyone, you know. So, like I was saying, uh, that's a phenomenon you see across the board in the United States. 80% of marriages ended up in divorce. That's not something particular to Black Americans, but I can tell you something about Black Americans that we can point to in our defense concerning that. And CDC is no friend of Black Americans. They do not. CDC is not a friend of us. not a friend of black men, not a friend of black fathers. And they say it according to their study, probably trying to prove the opposite. But come to find out, whether the father lives in the household with the child, and when they look at black fathers who are non-custodial, they find that they are the most involved, the most attentive, the most whatever you want to say about a father. They said that we were the most of that as black men, whether we live in the house or not. So consequently, the way my mind works, consequently, if black Americans are the best fathers, that automatically means we had the black mothers. There's no way, there's no way that we're going to be out here being the best fathers if the mothers of our children aren't the best mothers. So I just wanted to say those things to dispel a lot of those type of stereotypes that even some of my own people have internalized and promote. That's something that's been internalized that didn't come from our community. That's an outlook on us that didn't come from us, came from outside of us in order to demonize us. Now, as far as what can we do, it gets kind of tiring when I hear we have to deal with racism. We have to face it, know what it is, how it works. Otherwise, everything that you think you understand is only going to confuse you. Black people could do this and black people could do, ain't no racism. No, it doesn't work like that. You keep your nose clean. You stay in school, get your education. You open up a business or you get a good job and you go buy a house and half your equity is stolen in an instant. Stolen in an instant. Soon as you sign the paper, now they want to value your home less because you live in it. That's stolen equity from black Americans. That's theft from us. That's something that's done systematically, proven through research and studies, and investigations. So to come to us and say, "Oh well, y'all need to do more of this," no, you need to stop being racist towards us. See, that's racism. I don't care if my appraiser doesn't like me. I don't care what names they might have for me. I want them to appraise my home properly. I don't care what the loan officer thinks of me. I want them to give me the loan that I qualify for, and not some loan that they shove us, that they funnel us into, without for example, the subprime thing, those were arms. And when I was a loan officer, they tried to get me to give black Americans, anybody in this zip code, which was mostly black Americans, to try to get me to give people at that time, they said A paper, B paper, C paper, back in them days. You got A paper, meaning you got good credit. You got over a 700 credit score. But you want me to give them an adjustable rate mortgage and give it to them. They don't know the difference. They'll just be happy to get in their house. $3,000 if you do it that way. $1,200 if you give them the loan that they deserve. That's what they were doing to black Americans. That's racism. That's systematic. It don't matter if they can love black people, but they're gonna get that $3,000, right? I quit that profession after less than 4 months. 4 months in, I'm saying I'm not gonna do this. That's racism. So no, we don't need to be more racist. We need to be more codified with one another. We need to operate by a protocol amongst one another. We need to be more codified. The opposite, last thing I'm gonna say, because I see people are chomping at the bit to disagree. So last thing I'm gonna say is the opposite of racism is justice. The opposite of racism is justice. So I've given you the definition of a scientifically derived definition by our grandmaster teacher, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, who studied these issues, went all over the world to figure it out, talked to all kind of white folks, black folks, yellow folks, everybody, as a psychiatrist, to figure this thing out. What is racism and why is it happening? So that's my definition of that. So the opposite of racism is justice. And my definition of justice is, as given to me by the Grandmaster teacher Neely Fuller, the definition of justice is guaranteeing that no one is mistreated and guaranteeing that those that need help the most get the most constructive help. Again, guaranteeing that no one is mistreated and guaranteeing that those who need help the most get the most constructive help. So, let's define our terms. If we want to talk about bigotry, we can talk about that. We can include Black folks into it. But if you want to talk about racism, that's a specific thing done for a specific purpose. And we don't have any apparatus to accomplish racism right now.
Well, I hear you. And my pushback would be the fact that, when you when you use the example of the appraisal, you just want to be treated fairly. Well, how about to be treated fairly, you hire within your group and stop looking outward and look inward. Look to your left, look to your right. That's
We
what
do
other
that.
that's what I mean, where when other groups practice quote unquote racism, and I'm not speaking so much to the racism how in the 1930s, like during the time of sinners, how white people were treating Black people. I'm really talking about, the group economics. Other groups of people, Jewish people, they're not going to sit up here and say treat me fairly. No, they're just going to hire their own appraisal, their own people who are appraisals, who are doctors, who are lawyers, who are business people. So I get what you're saying, but maybe I'm just too, maybe I kind of want to go left tonight and a little bit deeper with it, because where I'm getting at is we Black people are not we are not practicing group economics, and to get into practice group economics, you have to have some type of practice of racism. Every group does it. I don't care. Any person that come and say, well, I know, you are a whole lie. Peter, the Italians do it, don't they?
No,
Yeah, 1,000%.
Listen, practicing group economics is not racism. Practicing group economics is something that Black Americans have been known to do, that we have strived to do harder than anybody. We
No,
have
that's
tried
not
hard.
true. That's not true, Immortal. We have not done that.
no, no, but it
Bro,
has
you
been correct.
delusional. You are so fucking delusional. You are
All
delusional,
right,
bro.
so Judge Sarah, you came in here, and I know you have been in my other spaces where I said no one cannot use the F word. Do not come up in here using the F word at all. At all. And I think going forward, every 30 minutes, I need to put out a PCA. I don't want the F word being used in my spaces. Well, me and Peter spaces. So go ahead, Immortal.
Appreciate it. Immortal, you were saying that Black people do practice that as well, economic separation, or saying it within the community.
And
Oh, yeah, you.
It
So,
might have been a
so
double mute.
exactly that, and it's very frustrating to see generation after generation after generation from since the time of so-called emancipation. We've done that consistently from that day to this one. We practice group economics. We do all the things that you people are talking about,
no, we don't.
and, and
You okay,
okay,
Immortal? Give me an
I
example.
agree. We have.
Just
Give
be
me
lying. They
Judge Sarah. I need for you to stay on your mic. I'm not. This is not the project space. This is not. Everybody needs to stay on their mic. I don't want to keep pressing the goddamn mute button. We're all adults.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know I got impulse
So
control
yeah,
issues. I'm sorry.
control your impulses, please. All right, Immortal. So, Black people don't practice group economics today. Give me an example of Black people practicing group economics today. Good. Double mute. Just give it a second.
Black Americans practice group economics whenever possible. But unlike places like Chinatown or Jewish Town or Italian Town, our businesses stay under attack. We don't go into Chinatown and start attacking businesses with frivolous lawsuits. We don't go and lobby to have laws made that target specific things that are done in Asian communities, but that's done to us. Ever since the time of emancipation until this day, they always come up with a way to interfere with our economics. We don't do that to anyone else. I,
Okay. So then maybe we should, but you still have not answered my question. Tell me, tell me, give me an example of Black people practicing group economics today. It could be
we buy
locally
home,
somewhere, but tell me.
we buy homes around each other
No,
frequently.
we don't.
Frequent Americans, yes, we do. But your experience is not like mine.
Yeah,
See, I come
okay.
out
I want you to be more specific. Or go zone
on
into a city, zone in the
like
state.
my experience might be different than yours. So you can disagree with what I'm saying.
Where
That's fine.
can I need you to name a location and expound on it?
The north side of St. Louis, Black American businesses, we try to put them up all over the place, and they are constantly attacked by Arabs, by Jewish people, by white people, by Asians, even to the point of burning them down.
Okay, so let me ask you. So okay, so does this take St.
Right
Let's just
here in St.
hold on
Louis.
for a second. Let's just take that part of St. Louis where Black people are having these issues. So do Black people own their storefronts, the building where the store is at? Do they own majority of their homes? Do they own majority of the local commercial buildings where businesses are at? Is there a Black bank? Is there a supermarket that is owned and operated by Black people? When I say community, that means your everyday fundamental needs you have in your community and it's owned and operated by the people in that community. So if it's predominantly Black, then it should be predominantly owned. So an Asian, an Arab, or even a white person cannot come there and dictate. And even if they come in there and they try to burn it down or whatever, of if it's a community of Black people, where is your representation, your government officials, local official representation that you're supposed to vote into office to make sure that you are protected? See, that is part of group economics and community.
No,
So
but you don't
you shouldn't have that
understand.
problem. Go ahead.
We
We
elected
don't
in St. Louis.
understand. There's
We
certain thing
elected.
of
RC,
community.
you need to stay on your mic, RC.
RC, I'm going to drop you again. It's not your turn to talk. Let Immortal finish.
You're talking about representation. Now you insinuating that Black people aren't on our job as far as doing our civic duty. Well, I'll have you know that in St. Louis, we elected a prosecuting attorney for the city of St. Louis. And that prosecuting attorney was fine with the system. Everything was fine until she started refusing to prosecute cases by corrupt police officers, evidence of their corruption, evidence of their crimes. Police officers who dishonored the badge by the things that they were saying on Facebook about harming Black people. We elected her because she was going to stand up for us. She comes from among us, from a business family that owned a funeral home. Well, the state took her out. The state, state officials and the police unions got together, threatened her, even using violence. Yeah, people died to get her out of office. Somebody died the day she resigned. Somebody
What does
died.
that have to
Okay,
do with the Black community and your businesses or homes being burnt down?
we don't do our civic duty. We just hired them. We just elected a mayor that the state went against. We just
No,
voted that
civic
we.
duty meaning if an
There's
outsider, if an outsider is
nothing.
coming in your community as an agitator, what are you doing? What are you telling these local civics politicians? What are they coming in to protect your interests? So I don't care who's in charge of this, that, and the other. Are you
Right.
utilizing these people to protect your interests?
Nobody. When people accuse us of not doing this and that, and then we show, then we get the we don't care. That's the response. It's uncanny, not just you, but I'll tell you again. We voted in the city of St. Louis to take control of our own police force because it had been controlled by the state since the time of the Civil War. The Jim Crow era tactics. The city of St. Louis said we want our own police department to be in control by the city, by the citizens of this city. And crime went down ever since. Ever since that, crime going down. Guess what? The state level, which is controlled by white supremacists, the state level said, we don't care what you voted for. We don't care. We're going to take over your police. We don't care if crime is going down. We don't care if murders, violent crimes down, and everything's getting better. We don't care. We're going to take it over because of black on black crime. That's what they say. So that's not going to fly with real people on the ground. Well, you should be doing this. We're doing it all. You can't name something that we're not doing and not
Well,
being.
I just did. I just when I said are in your specific community, not the whole city of St. Louis, because I don't think the whole city of St. Louis. I don't know the percentage of how many white black, but you got different sections in a city. So in your section, the black business owners, do they own the building or are they leasing? That's very important. What is the ownership rate?
The buildings that are owned by Black Americans in my community are being redlined. So what happens is they don't get the equity loans that they need to keep their buildings up, and they don't get the business loans really to enhance or upgrade their businesses and stuff. So they go to the wayside. So we had grocery stores around here couldn't get loans under hostile environment from city officials. Liquor stores can't get investment loans, can't get business repair loans for the buildings that they own, so they end up having to sell those businesses, and then people from outside of our community buy them. Myself, we owned a 4-family dwelling that we got from back taxes, and we're doing well for over a decade with renting that out until the insurance company decided to say that, oh well, we're not going to insure you. Oh well, why not? Because these things need to be repaired. Okay, give us a list of the things. They gave it to us. We repaired all of it. Came back to get insurance. Oh well, we're not going to insure you. Why not? No reason. So I can't continue to rent this building out without insuring the dwelling. I need dwelling insurance. Well, if somebody gets hurt, I'm renting out. So we had to end up having to sell it because
That sounds like a lawsuit to me, to the insurance company. Sounds like you should have
I'm
filed
sorry.
a
Isn't your
complaint against
turn?
the
It's not
insurance
your turn
company
to
for
speak, there, Sarah. It is not
discrimination.
your turn to speak. Let him
And I
finish.
just wanted to share
Let
that
him
because black
finish,
people always
and
got
then I'm
excuses.
coming to you next. You can say it when I come to you. It's not that hard.
you with this. Just about anything that you say that black Americans are not doing, I can show you where we are doing that and meeting opposition for doing it. Whereas we don't put out any opposition to any other groups, and the state doesn't put out opposition to other groups the way they do us. As a matter of fact, it's just the opposite.
All right. Go ahead, your Sarah.
I appreciate you, Dana. I'm sorry. What's up, Peter and Dana? Listen, it's a few things I want to say. First, I want to talk about the Shannon Sharpe thing. When I came in the room, someone was saying that they look down on him about this grown man messing with a child. And I agree with you. I'm a mature woman. Men 10, 20 years old try to hit on me. And that I would feel like a pedophile. Like keeping it 100. Like I know women my age do that. But looking at them little boys, I'd be like, I could be your mother, young man. You might want to not do that. So I agree with you. I believe I'm really into spirituality, and I think Monique whispered to Shannon and he chose not to listen. It's unfortunate. Everything he worked for is probably he's gonna lose it. Just being a creep. Um, then someone I came in the room, I think it was Henrietta the Great saying we miss love. Listen, I've been here, and Dana, I didn't have Twitter on my phone because I keep saying I'm gonna stop coming here. I had just popped in to check messages, and then I saw y'all and I saw the conversation, and I popped in, and a young man was saying we need love. And this is the most just unfortunate, saddening thing about black people. I don't even want to say black people in this community. I've been on here maybe 3 years now, going on 3 years now, and I'm just so disgusted by what I see. um and it's a lack of unity. I'm trying to say it in a nice way, But when I first came here, I was polite, I was kind, and the aggression is rubbing off on me because I'm always approached with aggression with people who look like me. So what I'm saying is we're not winning because we're not a unit. It is so embarrassing to sit and hear people make excuses over and over again. And let me explain to you, I'm a victim of anti black hate crimes. White people stole millions of dollars from me. So I know what that looks like. And they did it because they could. They did it because they could. And I'm going to give you an example. Back east, a black woman was elected to, I think it was called city manager, a city manager, I think in Virginia. The police officers quit, like the city administration quit, white people quit because this black progressive woman, they gave up their jobs, their livelihoods, sacrifice. And eventually the mayor was on her side, but because everybody quit, she got fired. See, I keep hearing black people point the finger, saying, oh, this, that, they got their foot on our neck, da 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 da. But they don't love black people the way I love black people. If you love black people, you willing to sacrifice. You want to do without for yours. And the love things that got me messed up. You know, in school it was a study, and every group was excelling except for the black group, the black people. And the reason why the black people were not excelling, because they wasn't studying together. They wasn't getting together. I can go on and on about different things. In the state of California, uh, Donald Trump has now he's deporting people. 60, 70 homes were burnt down. We need construction. The majority of the construction laborers being deported. I'll come here for the past 3, 4 months, like, y'all, let's put together a school to teach black people how to do construction or whatever. Nobody want to hear it. They just want drama and aggression. So and then something about the loans. The brother said something about the loans. Did he leave? Immortal. He said, so I come from a banking environment, and he said something. I think I worked for HFC back in the day when they was trying to do the messed up loans, Immortal. So I think I know what you was talking about. But overall, when you do loans today, they don't know you black. The banker makes money from, I come from the bank. I work in in banking. Bankers make money on your loans being approved. And trust me, they don't hate you enough to give up $3,000, $4,000 commission because your name has a black name. And you can go ahead and put your finger down. You can. And another thing, because I don't want to be too long winded. Then we talk about appraisal. Okay. And Immortal, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and it's all due respect. When you talk about appraisal, you wouldn't have to worry about your appraisal. See, um, I'm very competitive and I love me. Ain't nobody better than me. This I know. Okay? Those neighborhoods, if they were like flourishing and doing well, I saw someone say, only thing over in here in the hood or basketballs, like sneaker stores and stuff like that. That's because that's what's selling. Why isn't any nice, like, I don't live in a black neighborhood, and I don't live in a black neighborhood, and there's no disrespect. I'm not don't want to be around black people because there's no amenities in the black neighborhood. I haven't lived in a black neighborhood in probably 30 years, and it's not because I don't want to be around black people. There's no affluent black neighborhoods. The one they call in Baldwin Park and Baldwin Hills in California, they call it the fucking Black Beverly Hills. Those are working class people.
Can you lay
That's not the
off the
elite.
F
And I'm not, I
word?
ain't trying to be disrespectful. I'm just keeping it 100. Let me say this last thing because I know I'm long winded. Brother, let me tell you something. Because I fuck with everybody. I'm not a racist.
Like, what is it that are you retarded? I just said no one says the F word. Stop saying the F word. I don't care if you want to flow or not. I actually, this is the last space I'm gonna tell people to stop saying that. I'm just gonna drop people down because that makes no sense.
You know what? I got to remember that you put this on YouTube, huh?
Yeah.
You know what, Dana? I'm doing a
And even if
video.
I didn't,
No,
just
baby, I'm
stop
so
saying it.
sorry. I'm doing you. Y'all don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing a video, and I cursed in the video, and I'm gonna put it on YouTube. And I was like, I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna have to. I am so Dana. I don't think that. And please forgive me for being disrespectful. And I guess you're gonna have to edit me out, but I apologize for that. But I do want to get to this point. I apologize, honey. I didn't think about that. Let me say this to you, and because you know what, Dana, it's emotional for me because I love black people. And what I hate the most is hear black men come in the room and cry and complain and point fingers. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, brother. Every other nationality, bro, a
Disrespect.
man ain't gonna come and complain. Let me finish, bro. That's why we lose it. You don't want to hear this.
Tells
It
you
ain't
nothing.
supposed to be a woman. It has to be a man. Please let me finish, brother. I
Well,
see
don't.
you show up for the reparations meetings and so forth. I see you show up for that, okay? I'm telling you about America. In America, they don't respect us because the men are not moving appropriately. And I'm not being disrespectful. My greatest accomplishment in this world is my black son. When my white husband of 23 years did horrible shit to me, my black son, excuse me, black thing, did terrible things to me, my black son. My greatest accomplishment
You
in
know
life
it's
is
wrong
my
down, man.
male black kid. So I'm not being disrespectful to black men. I understand your condition. I understand how they make you feel. But the reason why we've been conquered, because you're not moving appropriately. And pointing the finger saying, oh, this is
The
this, that, and the
reason why
third.
black people can't get ahead
Please
because
let
we
me
got a
finish.
victim
Please let me finish.
mentality,
Please
plain and
allow me to finish. And
simple.
I don't want to hurt nobody.
Peter, what are you doing? Are you gambling right now with that meme shit?
Can I finish though? For me,
No, I'm letting
I
him
mean,
Dana,
you
when
fly.
you
talking
talk, I
about that
can't hear you
mic.
sometimes.
You supposed to be dropping people down, like you slowing the button. What are
All
you
right,
doing, Peter?
I'll drop him. All right,
But what are you doing? Because you've been quiet as hell.
I'm listening to Judge.
Yeah, Judge who? Oh, Judge Sal. Yeah, but you ain't saying that in the whole damn space.
I was
Like you've
talking
been
earlier.
quiet, and I'm something about the word racism just makes people just be timid. Go ahead,
No,
go
no, I
ahead,
wanted
Peter.
to
I
give
I
don't.
mean,
people a
You know
chance
what,
to
brother?
talk before I chimed
I don't
in.
want to hurt you, but I'm telling you about different groups. They meant and you know, y'all know I was married to a white man for over 23 years. He would never come home and complain to me. He would never come home and tell me his woes. That was part of the problem. He was raised to be a man. Coming, complaining, pointing the fingers. You make it work, black man. You don't complain and say, oh, they got their foot on our neck. Da 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 da. Jews are 2% of the country and they run this country. You know why? Because they rock together. And they fight just like us. They just like us where they're very like competitive with each other. Okay? My daughter messed with you. My daughter actually cosplayed as a Jew in Williamsburg. Okay? I taught her to go where it's good. All right? But you will see they will not disrespect a woman in public. They will not say we can't do this. It's because of this. Someone did this to me. They make it work, black man. And I'm sorry, I'm just being honest with you. You keep on pointing the finger at the other man when it's the man in the mirror. You know what? I'm gonna go, but Dana, I heard you in there. I want to say it's a MAGA room, and you know I'm MAGA. When you was in that room, you was showing out, sister. You gave it to him.
which
Straight up,
room?
no chaser. And to the black men in the room, don't think I'm being disrespectful. I love you like I love air, but I'm telling you the problem. It's not the women. The man is the man is the man is the man. And the person who putting their finger down, that's what I'm talking about. We have strong links and we have weak links. I am on a mission for us. I call black male attorneys out of ever maybe 15, 20, 3 or 4 is on code and they down with me. Okay? I call black men every day in the East Coast to help me. I don't want a white person helping me. I don't want a non-black person helping me get liberation. I want a black man to secure our liberation in this country because that's what is necessary and is needed. I understand that they emasculate you. I know what they do to you. But at the end of the day, bro, you got to be better. That's it. Ain't no other way. You have to be better and rise to the challenge. That's what Judge Joe Brown is trying to say. That the way he acts, because he's embarrassed. The way he acts, how he talks, it's his manhood. He tired of people looking at him like he less than or beneath him because he a black man. So when he moved away and he said the way he do, because he loves his blackness. He ain't trying to disrespect us. He's saying rise to the challenge and be a man. I appreciate you, Dana, for letting me go without no interruptions. Thank you. Now, and
You're
to the black
welcome.
man, I love you. I'm just telling you, a man is a man. I don't. You're supposed to be the man. Period.
So
All right.
Thank you.
Um, I thought Immortal wanted to say something, but go ahead. What I had the Black and then Lovely.
Yeah, I love you, Judge Sarah, but this one problem I feel like we have, because y'all want us to be men, but y- y'all don't actually let us lead the way we see fit and what's safe for us. Because at the end of the day, they, our life is not valued to nobody, not even to the black woman at times. So uh, and I see why most men are being selfish and only thinking about self, because hey, I might as well enjoy myself while I'm here, because that's the only luxury I have being a man. That's how I look at some
What you
men look
saying
at it.
is not manly, sir. And you don't know that. Every other nationality, what you're
But
saying is
how
being a
can you
coward
how
and
but
you're
how,
making
listen,
excuses.
Judge
Other
Sarah,
men,
how
the
can
other
you dictate
nationality is listening to you and looking at
but
you and
Judge
saying
Sarah,
you are
how can you
sounding like a
dictate what a
coward. You
man
can
is
go
and you're
ahead, but
not
All
a
right,
I'm going to
Judge,
be
man?
let
honest
him
with you, sir.
respond. Judge, let him
Every
respond. Let him
other male
respond. Let him respond, please. Go ahead, the Black.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. Like, this another thing. Like, how can women dictate what a man is when y'all not men? We don't try to dictate to y'all what women is, and most men agree. No matter what race, most men agree on that factor. Like, y'all don't understand us, and we the simplest creatures on earth. Like, it's no, it don't take much to satisfy us, and we don't really want much, and especially a black man. So it's like you want us to be careful and go by the lines. We can dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and we'll still face some type of circumstance. And then y'all turn around and ask us why we so uh heterosexual centric or homophobic and don't want to open up, because y'all say if we open up, we weak. If we don't open up, then we're insecure and we're, you know what I'm saying, angry black man. Like it, I don't understand it at times, and that's why yeah, you have people, some men that go outside the race or they go outside the lineage, because we have this divide that we don't really understand each other fully to the point where we can actually be genuine with each other. Uh, you give the examples to the Jews. The You don't hear no Jewish woman going against nothing that the Jewish man feel like is best for his community. If they all decide that, hey, we not gonna shop over here, even though the woman's like this stove, they not gonna shop there. You can't really just tell a black woman, hey, you can't do this, cause hey, she gonna say she got her own money. She's independent, which it's understandable. I respect a black woman, cause I know it's doors that y'all can knock down that we can't knock down. So it takes a team effort for us to come together and break down all these barriers. And that's what I be wanting people to understand. Even when it comes down to the classism, we don't really need classism, because we can, if you want the amenities that they have in the white community, you got the money to make that a business and build that in the black community. Then you won't feel like, hey, you gotta travel outside the community to get some of these things that you feel like we need. That's part of community building and expanding your community and buying property. Ain't that part of buying property and doing what you feel like is missing in your community? That's what makes you a bigger name in your community and get you a street named after you. I thought, or somebody build a building and name it after you, because you done actually did things to benefit the community. And that's what we missing. People just want to make money and do the capitalist way, but not actually the other side of capitalism, the racism side, and benefit your group. We too ingrained in this integration stuff instead of what we did before segregation, when we was just fighting for access to certain things equally, so we can bring it back to the community, so we can expand and grow ours. So it's like Yeah, that's crazy. But I do understand where Miss Sarah come from. We do gotta rise to the occasion at times and be men, but I feel like it's better for us to sit down together and do things as a group so we won't be fighting each other, because that's why feminism was able to break down the civil rights movement and take certain groups of women away, because they didn't have a equal voice that they felt like. Because you will see that during the Chicano movement during the same time period, they women at the same time wasn't fighting they men. They felt like, hey, if our men are free, we gonna be free. But I don't know. It's the we don't pick up too many Eurocentric ideologies and made it our own, and we don't live two different types of cultures and two type of way of living. We ain't never really had a full history of suppressing our women like white men have been doing to their women for ages. So I don't understand where this strong feminism came from, where y'all have a disdain towards us, where you feel like we not men enough or uh just value enough to at least get some type of respect where we can explain how we feel and how we can go about things together and do better, because we do better as a community at the end of the day. I feel like that's what I'm trying to say.
Judge, do you want to respond before we go to KD?
I do want to respond really quickly, and brother, listen. I'm sorry. I love you. I understand it's hard for you. You think I don't understand? I do. I recognized that one day when me and my son was out and we was in Neiman Marcus, and these white men treated him that I could feel the energy in the elevator. I understand what it is for you. Um, but I do want to tell you, I'm not a feminist. I'm feminine. Okay. And one of the reasons why they were able to harm me so, because I haven't had a job since 2008. I raised my daughter. My daughter got a scholarship to school, to college. She did well. I became a housewife in 2008. And I'm a corporate woman. I was a boss. That's what I was supposed to be. I chose to be a parent to my child and be a wife. And that's why they were able to malign me. So I'm not a feminist, sir. And I appreciate you. And I'm so sorry that I understand your condition. You think I don't. But let me tell you something. If you're going, because I'm not a racist. I'm not trying to be away from different. I'm an American, so I mess with everybody. I'm not a racist, so I'm not into that. I just want to be around black people, whatever national. I'm not that. I mess with everybody. But because I do, I've been in different rooms and different environments, and in other environments, you don't hear men scapegoating and saying the woman. Some Neanderthal white men are like that, but I don't go in rooms where people are trying to build and grow, and they're non-black. They don't make the woman the issue. Like my issue is, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You are scapegoating to your woman, and they don't look at you kindly because of that. You said something that we can kick down doors that you can't kick down. I don't even know where that came from. What can I do that you can't do, sir? Honestly, there's nothing I can do you can't do. You're better. You're stronger. You the way that I have a uterus. I get into my moods. Okay, you see, I'm hurting now because of what you're saying. I don't want to harm you. I just want you to be better. Men don't think like that. You're a masculine. You can go out and get it done and not be bogged down with emotions and feelings. That's the difference between a man and a woman. We have a uterus. So listen, I'm not going to keep going because I know how hard it is for you. You think I don't know? I do. But the only way to overcome it is to overcome it. And not by pointing fingers and saying they doing this and they doing that. If they doing this and that to us, then we need to strategize to make sure they stop doing this and that to us. Thank you, Dana, for letting me rant. I appreciate you. I
Judge,
love you, brother, okay? I love you so much. I promise you I do.
Judge, I want to ask you something though. Is a man built like that because that's how he's supposed to build? He's not supposed to. He's not supposed to have the same feelings a woman would have. He's not supposed to have the same anything a woman would have. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a man just supposed to be built the way how he is. He's supposed to feel the way how he is. You know, he's supposed to do certain things. He's supposed to do as a man because he's a man. You know what I'm saying? we both will never really all the way understand each other, but we could both come to common ground. Maybe I don't know. That's just my
I
take.
don't know why you think you can't understand me. Okay, so just to let you know, sir, I was married to a man for over 23 years. My husband was an alcoholic. That's what happened to my marriage. My husband was an alcoholic because he was, and see, black men are not going to accept this because he was dealing with taking care of his family. My husband was a workaholic. My husband worked 60 hours a week. Then he would play golf. And then he would drink at night. And I kind of felt neglected by it. And I was married to an Irish American. He took care of. I didn't want anything financially. The only thing that I lacked was emotion. He wasn't there
We
for
We
me.
can't
can't hear
hear
you.
you,
We can't
Judge.
hear you, Judge. You're on your. You're not on your mic.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Now we can hear you.
No, but I'm saying to you, sir, I know there's issues with relationships. I've been going through a divorce and it's this gender war. I don't know where the hell that started from. Gender thing is a problem for me. I like men. Okay. Women are angry and mad and women. I don't know. The gender thing I can't speak to, sir. I like men. Okay. I came to this space in the past couple of years when I started having issues with discrimination in the state of California. And the things that I'm seeing, I'm flabbergasted by. Like women are like really mad at men, and I'm thinking, what did they do to you? What's wrong? And then I hear men scapegoating women. You have to love and respect each other. You said we can't understand each other. Yes, we can. You just have to try, and you have to put the. I was married for over 23 years because both of us we put the relationship first. When we had arguments, the next day they were over. We didn't hold on to them. We just would keep like he would be mad or I would be mad the next day. We would act like it was nothing because our marriage was more important than whatever happened. I don't see that. People are me. You did this or I did this or that. Everybody's angry and self-centered. And it's not just in marriage, it's in our community. It's in America. It's online. People are very self-centered. And I'm not that person. I love everybody. So if y'all let me rant, I will. I'm gonna stop now. Thank you.
Yeah, we see some new speakers. The black, I think you wanted to go. I don't know what happened to Lovely. So the black, and then who was it?
KD.
International.
Kate. No, KD was after the. Well,
Oh,
KD was
KD.
after the
I'm
black.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, KD, then international, then Henrietta.
Yeah, I just want to say I wasn't saying that you was a feminist, and when I mean women can knock down doors that we can't, like right now in well, probably not right now in this instant, but in years prior, especially like these last couple of years, we can say that black women done had more political power than the black men, and yeah, y'all can do things that we can't when it comes down to the corporate world and just getting loans. Like it's certain things that white supremacy feel more comfortable dealing with the black women than dealing with black men, and that's I feel like the hurdle that yeah a lot of men have. Not saying for myself because I'm in Texas. I like the way we got things set up and it's pretty free to me. I feel like, and that's another thing. I feel like it's a regional thing too, because when you try to mix different regions and states and your way of thinking and trying to apply it to somewhere else, it's not going to match up because the type of racism and just the environment is different. So that's why I say in this generation, yeah, the most people don't really understand each other because we are somewhat self-centered. It's all about what you can do, and we done got away from that as a whole. That's why I say we done picked up too many Eurocentric ideologies and making it where we done actually been through it, and some of those things we ain't actually been through. We have issues within each other, but it's more of it done puts a divide in instead of us coming together and understand what each other going through and making a strategy like you said so we can do better and build community. That's why I say with black people, black Americans, it's more of a somewhat classism thing. Once we make it, we never actually double back and go back to the community and help. Some people do, but the majority of us we don't. We more comfortable dealing with the other side because it's easier and it's different type of circumstances that you got to deal with, which is understandable. It's it's less stressful, but at the same time, I feel like if you're gonna be pro black and claim that, then yeah, you're gonna always double back no matter what ridicule or what endorsements or you know what I'm saying, what other dollars you may lose because you gonna get the dollars right back from your community if you really about your community because we support each other when it's a person that's actually doing it genuinely and for the people. We can't say we don't. So it, that's where I feel like, yeah, if you don't live, that's because you actually want to leave. And that's why a lot of people have these somewhat anti-black talking points that white people use, bringing up Chicago. I don't know about Chicago. I live in Dallas. I can only talk about my region, so I can't say this is going on and this is that going on in the black community, and it don't reflect the same way in my community. So I say people need to speak on where they from, the reason and the circumstances that they dealing with, and it be more easier to discern and your issues in your community and make it better instead of putting this broad painted picture on everything and everybody because everybody don't operate the same.
Can I respond to him,
Not
Dana?
really. I'm gonna get to Katie. I'll swing back to you though.
KD. It's KD, then Henrietta, then Winter National, but it dropped down. But let's go to
Okay,
KD.
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
KD, you got to open your mic. You're muted right now. KD going once. There
Okay.
you go.
All right. I'm sorry, fellas. I mean, everybody. Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing
Good.
great, man. Welcome to the
Oh,
space.
okay. All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I love these type of conversations simply because it opens up a dialogue for everybody to get some type of clarity and some form of understanding. But from what I've been hearing, it's been a train wreck, a mess, and it just okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. I come from what I'm going to bring is a biblical worldview in this plight that we have dealt with uh, as the conversation that has been going on as black people. And to me, this transcends blackness, whiteness, yellowness, or whatever the hell they come from, or what tribe they are associated with. I mean, because at the end of the day, the judgment is you and you alone gonna have to account for what you have done. Basically, bottom line. And I believe that black people have used the skin color as an idol. Stop idolizing your skin color. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, we have gotten so far in progress as black people from I'll be 50 in a couple of years. And even then, you still dealt with some issues. But biblically, the way I look at it, gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with it. But I still have to have the faith and understanding. And I haven't heard anyone mention anything about the Bible or how God is going to restore us or how God has restored us or how the blood of Christ. I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, we can't rely on one man, which is the president. We can't rely on black people. We can't rely on white people. We got to rely on God. Because if we have read our Bible, and I don't know if I have any Bible believers listening, he can move the hearts of people that are you consider your enemy. He will make your enemy your footstool, no matter what color they are. Because I'm going to tell you, I have ran across white devils, black devils, yellow devils, and all other kind of devils. And it's a devil on every level, no matter what. And I just don't get that we just stuck. Okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And it's like, seriously, pray and God. will deliver you from that. And believe that and trust in that. Do you believe there's a sovereign God? Do you believe in God? I mean, because regardless of what, slavery didn't start uh, when they brought our ancestors to America. Slavery started when Adam and Eve was kicked out of the kingdom and they had their kids. And they had their kids, and they had their kids, and they had their kids. Remember the Tower of Babel, where he confused the languages and everybody scattered? And the thing about it is the fact that the conversation that we're having is like, okay, we could be doing something far more better,
Like
far
what?
more constructive,
Like what?
far more constructive.
Like what? Give me an example.
I'm giving you an example, far as, okay, stop putting people in categories, in groups. I mean, because to me, it's almost like socialism. Socialism leads to communism. Communism is like, okay, then you only have one ruler, one dictator, and part of, I think, the miseducation of America, especially American blacks, is the fact that a lot of our so-called leaders have signed off on this because, okay, then that's a paycheck. I'm not finna go into that. That's another topic for
But you
another
never
day.
answered the question I asked you. Get, you
About
said
what?
we could be doing something more constructive.
I mean, more constructive far as, okay, because race, when we focus on race, I mean, it distracts from the bigger issue. Okay, then
What's the bigger issue?
the bigger issue is, okay, then are you doing what you need to be doing far as, oh, what do you believe in and who do you believe in? Are you
Keep your
living
faith in
morally right?
God. That's the solution, Dana.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because focusing on race idolatry, I mean, that ain't gonna get you into heaven, baby. And we coming as a group collectively. Okay, collectively, we ain't gonna get into heaven, baby.
Well, we're
At the
not
end of the
judged.
day,
But listen, KD, we're not
I mean, no,
judged.
no, 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 no. It ain't nothing about
Hold
judgment.
on. Let me finish. Let me finish. What I was saying is, we're not judged when we at the pearly gates of heaven. We're not judged as a collective. We're judged as an individual. So what are you talking about being judged as a group? And when I asked you, when you said, well, we could do something that's more constructive, I guess you're assuming more constructive than being on X talking about race because racism is in the title. But why not talk about racism when this country was built on it? It's the foundation. Why are people so afraid and so timid to talk about being racist or racist people or a racist group or just racism at all? I think this is a very productive conversation. This is not the typical conversation that people usually have on X Space. So it actually requires us to think a little deeper. But go ahead. I
Go ahead, Katie. You got to come
sometimes
off your
it's like
mic.
people kill me when they say we could do something more. Like who are you? Like, are you the morale police? Like, oh, we could be doing this. Well, we're doing this. I want to do
Hey,
this.
hey, Dana, let me ask you something though.
Well, it was Katie. Katie has to unmute. Give me a second, Michael.
Yeah, let Katie
All right.
land. Katie, go ahead. You got to unmute. You're muted right now. You got to open your mic. You could do it. I know you can.
Peter, you sound like you real tired.
I'm not. I'm just laying down and I'm waiting for him to open
That's
his
what that's
mic.
what you sound like. You sound like you laying on your stomach.
He done ate about 3 gummies. He's on that.
No, I'm not.
Hey,
But go ahead,
He ain't got no
Michael, because I don't know
solution.
what's going
yeah,
on with Katie.
Dana, I heard you say that the country was built on racism,
Yes.
and we understand that the
Nations, not
whole,
just here, a lot of other
yeah,
places in the world.
you damn right, you damn right, built on racism. But just because somewhere is built on racism, was it right though? Like, is we gonna continue to practice this shit just
You know the
because
Bible is racist.
Well,
what
a
we was
lot of
taught?
times, Michael, you have to practice what society has created sometimes in order to survive. You need, and before you practice it, you should understand it. You should study it. And then it does come in handy to practice it at times. So yes, like we're talking about survival, so what do you want to do? But go ahead and finish out, Michael, your rebuttal, and then I need to go to, who was it? Henrietta? Yeah, I don't see internet
Yeah,
too.
Henrietta, and then it's
And then we can
in
start winding it
Miss
down at the
Marietta.
end, huh?
I think
Let me.
after Henrietta,
Oh,
it's I
it's
Miss
Miss.
Can
Marietta.
I finish my thought,
Yeah,
Dana?
Henrietta and I Miss. Yeah, go ahead and finish up. Oh, who's that? Katie?
Listen,
Oh, you found the mute button. All right.
Okay.
yeah, let me finish my let me finish my thought. I mean, I didn't know I was realize I was on the mute button. I mean, my thing is the fact that we focus so much on racism. My thing is, can someone please give me the definitive definition of racism? Give me
Well,
the
so
definitive.
that's a good question, Katie, because a
Give
lot
me
of
the
people,
definition.
yeah, a lot of
All
people come
right,
in
so
and say that
I'll
it.
pull it up because I did have it up, but then I started looking at my
No, 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 no. Look it up. No, no,
You just
no.
said
Please
you
don't
want the
do that.
definition.
I mean, you should know what
I know
racism
what
is
it is,
because
but
you
you
know
said
when
you
you
wait.
see
Hold
it.
on, hold
I
on,
see
hold on.
racism,
You
but
said you
I just
wanted
told you,
you.
Dana. I
No,
just
no, you ain't tell me shit. Let's just get that off the table. You said you want a definitive definition of racism. That means you want what it says in Webster. So is that a rhetorical question? Or you want me to give you what I think? No, racism is what it is, not what you tell me what it is. Now I can
no.
read out
I'm
the
not telling you what
definition
it is.
so that
I'm
we all
asking you
can
to
be on
give
the
me the
same
definition.
page.
I'm asking you to give me your definition.
My
You don't have to look it
definition is
up.
Webster's. The belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, and qualities, especially so as to distinguish them
Now
as
you're reading. Now
inferior
you're
or
reading.
superior
Now you're
to one
reading.
another.
That
That
come
is
on, come on.
racism.
That now you're reading from the dictionary. I need for you to tell me
I
your
just told
definition,
you.
not from a
But
book.
that's what I think racism is.
No, well, I'm
When
sorry
one
to
when
tell
one
you.
when
I'm
one
sorry
is
to tell
concerned,
you that is
hold on. When one is concerned with one self group, my concern is only my group. That's it. Are you happy? Now go
I
ahead
would
and
add.
land your plane so we could go to Henrietta.
no, cause no. What? Listen, no, no. Seriously, don't give me your definition that you read from a
I
dictionary.
gave you
Katie, do you
Okay,
consider the
tell
Bible
Wait,
me
racist?
hold
how
on.
you.
First of all, you're going to lower your tone. All that raising and yelling, I'm not doing that. I gave you the definition, the Webster definition, and I gave you my own definition. My own definition is one who is concerned with one's own group. That is my personal definition, which echoes the Webster definition.
I would actually add to it too as well. I like both your definitions, Dana, but for me, if you're just asking off the top of my head, it's being prejudiced or being against somebody based upon their immutable
Well,
characteristics. You don't
prejudice and
weigh them.
discrimination that falls under racism as well. That's also in
Yeah,
Webster. So I need Katie. You need to land. Stop asking me rhetorical questions. Just land your plane so I can move on to Henrietta
Okay, I'm
and
about
I
to
can
land my
wrap this
plane.
space up.
Okay, I'm about to land my plane. My plane is coming in. Okay. Basically, all I'm saying is the fact that I think we focus too much on it, and the fact that it's a it's a bigger picture than that, and I mean because we could be our own worst enemies. You know, we talk about. I've heard on the conversation earlier that starting businesses, you start business in the black community, or whenever you have a situation that happens in the rise, the first thing that destroys the black community. I mean, we're our own worst enemy, and for what reason I don't understand that. I don't get that logic. I don't get that reasoning. I don't get that common sense. If that makes sense to me, how we are always known to destroy our own selves based on the fact of hate, which you know I think what prejudice is or racism is. How can you be racist against black people when you black? I mean, simply because what is hate? That's all what racism is a form of hate. That's all it is. And I was gonna go into a biblical worldview about it, and bring you some scriptures to back up what I'm saying. But maybe another day, another time. But I appreciate it.
Yes, maybe
Appreciate you,
another
KD.
time, because the Bible, they practice racism too during biblical times. Go ahead, Henrietta, and then I miss.
Hi, Dana.
How are you?
Fine. How are you, Dana?
Good.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Fine. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I appreciate the chance to talk tonight. I don't know if I'm out of place or not, but everybody will let me know real fast. So I'm not worried about that part. Judge, I I didn't all I heard was my name. I hope whatever preceded that I wasn't bad or anything because but I wouldn't be surprised. And I just checked you out real quick. I'm going to go real fast because I don't want you to think that I'm like drifting. My daughter's father went to Verbum Day, so I don't know what judge your connection is to that school, but anyway, okay. So of course it probably everybody's going to get pissed off whatever my opinion is, right, about if black people are racist or not. But let me tell you what all I can do is speak from my experience, right? Okay, so I grew up in California, and it's different. Like you don't I only experienced like racism where I would say it felt evil once, and they had to pay me $50,000 through the DFEH for racism by association because my daughter is black. If nobody's figured that out yet. Anyway, and I was working, and this disgusting pig, I couldn't even believe, and I was making good money at this job. I was an insurance broker prior to becoming a nurse. And he made the most disgusting comment that I would never dare say. And of course, about an innocent woman, and she was a black woman, and she just walked by. That's it. And what I heard, I went to myself, oh no, I know I didn't hear that. You see, when you're in California, we don't, it was the first time in my life I've never heard anything like that. I grew up really, my family was kind of messed up and falling apart and getting divorces, and just they were very dysfunctional. And actually, black people took care of me as a young kid, as a um and the women would tell me like they don't like white people, but they were really nice to me. They fed me, they took care of me. So I think that there's a big difference. And I mean, I'd be in Compton, okay? I'm not, yeah, this is like real. And they were good to me. So, but it's the difference, I think, is the evil, okay, behind it. Because my experience is, okay, so I don't want to put any feelings or anything. I just want to say the facts of my experience. Is that the difference is that, okay, so my experience is a black person will say, in my experience, the people that I knew, they were like my family, they were wonderful to me. But like they would just of course be themselves, right? I mean, I was at the barbecues, the house parties, I was there, I was asleep, I was looking for food, I was being fed, I was living very good as a kid with black people. So I love black people, of course, and my daughter's black. And anyway, but the difference I think is the evilness with it. And let me try to explain this. So I don't attach when a black person says I don't like white people. It doesn't really mean anything to me because I heard that a lot. I heard it a lot, and it didn't ever hurt me. I was living, I was eating, I was at everything. I was having fun. And so it didn't matter to me, uh, you know? But when that white man said the disgusting thing that he said, I had to do the paper. I had to file the complaints. I had to be retaliated against. I had to be fired because, I went all the way up the chain, right? To the owner. And it took about, and I got, there was a lawyer. The DFEH took the case. That's California's EEOC, by the way, to people on the East Coast and stuff, the Equal Opportunity Commission. That's California has their own version. And all you need is one sheet of paper. That's it. You can handwrite it, handwrite the event. And I was always already doing, I'm going to talk really fast. Sorry, day, date, and time. Okay. Because, I'm smart stuff. So I was doing day, date, and time. So I had all my, I had the history, right, of what these guys were doing in there because they were going to make me lose my money. And I was like one of the number one salespeople. So I said, well, that's it. Because I couldn't sell out my kid, with disgusting crap that was they were. And then a child came in another day, a black child, and oh, just forget it. Anyway, let me just move on past the disgusting things that they did. So of course I got fired, because it went up. And then and at one point the manager told me, don't worry about what he said, just do your job. I said, oh wow, you guys are really. So then it gets even, yeah, yeah, Judge Sarah. Okay, so then, wait, it gets wilder. They admitted it to the DFEH, and then they said, but we said it inside our office, so it was okay. Okay, so they lost, of course, and they had to pay me a lot of money, and then they had to teach all their offices how not to be racist. So I hope it worked. That place probably went out of business, this is some time ago. And then I had another life because I became a nurse. So I think that the difference is that I experienced is nobody hurt me because they didn't like white people. No, a black person, because we're talking about black people, and that is my experience. They didn't hurt me because if they said they didn't like black people, and I don't mean to laugh, but they were good to me. Okay, like I said, fed me. I was there, everything. I was having fun. I was anything that was happening, I was right there with everybody else. And but the difference is I think that for example, so if a white person is racist, they will hurt you. See the difference? That's what I think the difference is. So, are black people racist enough? Maybe not. And I'll just land. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Henriette. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing your story. Um, I
I miss
miss,
Marietta, and then
and then that's
Kev,
it.
and then D.
Then D. Oh, D. Hey, okay. All right, and then that's it.
Okay. Okay. It's my turn, Dana.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to really go back to for us to revisit Shannon Sharp. And I wanted to do so because Shannon Sharp, Charles Barkley, and we're of the same generation. And we all three are Southerners. And Charles Barkley and I have a similar background because I followed his career extensively because we went to college at the same time. And I just began to know about Shannon Sharp, but I read his background. I know he's from a rural part of Georgia where he grew up poor, no indoor plumbing. And I think my son was telling me that he really didn't take a shower until he went away to college. And I told him, I don't believe that. I said, I believe he had a bathtub. He may not have had a shower, but I know he had a bathtub. Um, but I just wonder how they allow themselves to get into these predicaments. Now, the Charles Barkley and Shannon Sharp, they were athletes, so they made it out of poverty by their athleticism. I, on the other hand, I made it out by uh, books. I went to school. I put myself through school. Well, for one thing, I left Alabama and moved to the state of Maryland, where for me, there were more opportunities and for me to better myself. Now, I didn't come up in a wealthy family or anything. My family, like Charles Barkley's mother and grandmother, sold beer and whiskey. They knew how to make money. And so that's what my mom did, along with other family members. to support themselves. Because I was born during a time of segregation and attended a segregated school until the second grade. And I know I'm probably dating myself. So, but I say all of that to say that there is no way in the world I would allow someone to just try to just come along and besmirch my career and try to take everything that I worked so hard for. Now, granted, I'm not a millionaire like they are. I'm not. And I'm probably better educated than they are, but they have the more financial wherewithal than I. I mean, I put myself through undergraduate school at Morgan State, and from Morgan State to the University of Maryland. And from the University of Maryland, I put myself through law school. And that was not an easy feat. And I was a single mother. And I can proudly say today that my son, I put him through a private school in New Hampshire, and I paid for it because I was lucky enough when I finished law school to work at an Ivy League school. And my son's education for 1 year was $32,000, but I was smart enough to get him a scholarship. And with the rest, I was able to pay for it out of my salary every month. Um, and today, I can probably say my son is a doctor. He's earning over $1 million a year. Um, but I wouldn't want to sit back and see that happen to my son, what is happening to Shannon Sharpe. I get no pleasure out of it. And but I kind of feel like he was culpable in his own misdoing with what is happening to him. He kind of like put himself in that kind of situation, which is sad. And I know he has family members that he can rely upon to talk to, but I don't know if they would understand, the pressure that he's under. Because they don't live in that kind of world that he lives in on a day-to-day basis. But I just wanted to know, Dana, like, what do you think? I kind of value your thoughts on different things because you come across as a very reasonable
Mhm.
person.
I
Um,
think I think he's an old dumb pervert. And I'm on the girl I'm on the 20-year-old snow bunny side. She sounds like she is dumb and uneducated. However,
yes,
her frontal lobe has not fully developed, right?
absolutely agree.
So, but she had enough sense. She had enough sense to sue him for millions. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's a mark. He is a mark. And I hope she gets every dime. And shame, and not so much shame on him. Like, you 56, you don't know how to move. And you are an athlete for how many decades? Super Bowl ring. I think he's a Hall of Famer, I think. But he's a Super Bowl champion, so you've dealt with the groupies all through your career. And you mean to tell me you let a 20-year-old, a little skinny, average looking snow bunny, she's not even bad. But you let her finesse you out of 50, a minimum of 10. He's going to pay. And now you open up the floodgates for all these other accusations that's starting to come out. So yeah,
yeah.
you are old dumb pervert. And I don't want to say, country bumpkin, because there are a lot of people in the South. People in the South period are not dumb. That's to say I may be slow, but I'm not stupid. However, I think he gives a bad name to his family. I'm sorry, because did your grandmother, your mom, your dad, whoever, did they raise you to be a pervert, a stupid old pervert? That's how I
But
look
what,
at it.
Dana? What are the allegations? Like, what did he do
Well,
that
it's a
was
civil
wrong?
lawsuit. She's saying he essayed her and ard her, and yeah.
Oh, so she's
And how
alleging
long he was
actual
in a
crimes.
relationship?
Well,
No,
no,
Peter,
but
that's
it's
text
it's a
messages.
civil lawsuit, so it's not even
It's
criminal.
criminating text messages.
Yeah,
Hey,
Wow.
it's
hey,
not even
Dana,
criminal.
Dana,
He put his penis in her butt without a condom, and she said no, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and,
but
and
but
they got
it's
it on
it's
text.
it, but it's her word against his, though, isn't it?
It's a text message, Peter.
Yeah,
And she
that's
texts him.
that's her
She
word
texts him,
against his
you
word, though.
Hold on for a second, guys. Hold on, because the title, Are Black People Racist Enough? The word racism. She is a 20-year-old white woman. So her word is her word, and that's the only word that the judge want to hear.
I
That's
think
huh?
I think just
But
because she a woman though, like I don't like forget black and white. It's
Oh
a,
no, the color does play
the
when we're
colors
talking
definitely
about
play, but
courts.
she a woman. You know what I'm saying? Usually when women got cases against men, them shit stick. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, yo, do you think like Shannon, like you think it was any type of blackmailing going on? Because I'm seeing like
that's
a
what it
I'm
was.
that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing like a pattern. Like every time somebody don't go with what they want them to do, it's oh, you did this to this woman. Every time with not even just black community, every community. They use the women to goddamn put you in some type of problems. Like
Well,
what's going
I
on?
think this is an important consideration, and I'm excited to ask the judge about this because I think there needs to be a process where you could place your assets outside of control or being subject to forfeiture from the government. I think we should be talking about that. Why should you have your assets be able to be seized willy-nilly? Isn't there a way or a structure that you could put it into place, either through a trust or some other type of mechanism to be able to control these people just literally stealing money from you? Because that's what's happening.
Yes,
Why does a judge get to have the say,
for
some
real.
unelected official that came into the world the same way that you or I came into the world? How come they get to have a say whether you give up tens of millions of dollars?
Hey,
I'd like to see some type of mechanism to put assets out of the control or out of the purview of having a judge decide that you have to give it up.
hey, Pete, look at Tiger Woods, bro. Billionaire, bro. You know what I'm saying? His wife got $1 billion for a divorce. What? What makes his wife deserve $1 billion, bro? I don't
That's what I'm
go.
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
It's ludicrous.
This
It's
this shit is crazy,
ludicrous.
man. Like,
Yes, it's ludicrous, and I think that's why you need parity with other
It was
countries.
half a billion.
So
It
Wait,
was
you
wait.
could
half a
So what's
billion.
wrong? One second. So what's wrong with his wife getting 100 million?
she
I
got a
love it.
billion. She ain't get 100 million. She got $1 billion.
Oh, it was
Who you talking
500
about? Wait,
million.
Michael, who you talking about? Tiger
Tiger
Woods?
Tiger
Woods'
Woods'
wife.
wife, the blonde
She
woman,
didn't get
the,
1 billion
the
because he's only worth 1 billion. She got 100 million or something like
and I
that.
think she
Man,
Yeah,
had more
Dana's
money than
right.
him. What's crazy, Michael, is she had more money than him. She was some type of heiress or something like that for
No,
some.
she's no.
She
She
was
was
a
a nanny.
nanny.
She didn't come from money. She
Yeah,
was
she
an
was a bad
average.
white
Now
man.
she looked good. I think she was Swedish. She was a good looking
I thought she
Swedish
came
woman.
from money. I have to check it
No,
out.
honey, no. She's a
No, she was broke.
nanny. She came over here on a green card and as a nanny, as an on par. She didn't come from money because if you come from money, you not being nobody nanny. So she is not nowhere near trust fund or a princess and nothing like that.
No,
Sorry.
but you agree with. I mean, I don't. I my position is, why should you have your assets? You made all this money to then have some judge say that you have to give it up? That's crazy to
Well,
me.
a
in
judge
the
don't have
marriage
to
is a
say it.
joint
You
asset. In
and
the
the woman
marriage
could
is
come to
joint
an
asset.
agreement.
And Peter, they stole mine because I'm black.
Listen, I
hold
believe you.
up.
This is why you should be putting your assets in other countries outside the reach of the law
Maybe
of
not.
the.
Especially if you're a rich pedo.
But
Yeah,
but we talk
but first
about
of all, Peter,
Hold on, but they was
hold
having
on, hold on,
consensual
hold on,
sex.
hold on. First of all,
Yeah, but
Peter,
it's rape when you're.
hold on. First of all, Peter, just because you put your money overseas somewhere and you're stingy, you don't have a wife, you don't have a kids, and I don't think you ever plan on getting married and have kids. Am I correct?
Straight up,
Why?
because I would never enter into a contract that the other side benefits if
Because he
they
has a
break the
histrionic
contract.
personality disorder.
Would you
Because
have a
he has a
baby mama?
histrionic
Judge,
personality
please
disorder.
stop.
Right,
Just
Peter?
stop. Judge, stop. I'm
But I was
talking.
just answering
Stop
a
talking.
question.
Stop coming off your mic. I'm talking to him. Would you have a baby mama, Peter?
I'd never want to have children.
You never want to have children. You're that selfish.
I am. I'm a selfish
But I
person.
think this is why men don't want to
Okay,
get
so what
married now.
happens? Are you generous with your girlfriends?
Of course.
How?
vacations. If I've had girlfriends live with me and they don't pay a dime, they pay for their own expenses that
Well,
they
where
have
they
that
at?
separate
You
from
break
me.
up with them and then you kick them out.
If well, listen, we have fun until we stop having fun and it's not fun anymore, and we go our separate ways. And I hang on to the memories. I'll always cherish the memories.
What do you give
Peter's
her
toxic.
palimony?
Oh, hell no, palimony.
Why not?
What? Why doesn't she give me? She should be giving me
Because
palimony.
you
That's
had
what
her
she
living a
said.
certain lifestyle that she couldn't afford, but she got accustomed to. So at least, send her with a parting of something so that she's just not out there twirling in the wind broke.
Listen, she'll be all right. They'll
Danny,
all be all right.
Danny, you
They
call
they
that
they always
palimony
land
though?
on their feet.
That is
But
a thing.
why should
Palimony
you
is a
Palim.
be
thing.
I
So
ain't never
responsible
heard
for
that,
Michael,
her
yo.
that's a
wait,
lifestyle?
real
hold
thing. Michael, check it out. The
yeah,
judge actually awarded
it's a real
people palimony. Go ahead,
I
Dana.
know
I'm
I've
sorry.
had palimony before. So all right, I want to go back to I miss. I want to let her land, and then I'm gonna go. Who is it? D.
D, yeah. And then
Okay,
Kev wanted to say something too, I think.
and then we'll close out. So go ahead, I
But
miss.
what about me?
No,
Judge, yeah, you
go
can.
ahead. Go ahead, I miss. Go ahead, I miss.
Well, I basically said all that I wanted to say, and thank you all, and thank you, Dana. I just wanted to just elicit you guys your thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
no. Go
Go ahead,
ahead.
Dana. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I support Shannon Sharpe. I don't, why should we believe this woman? I don't. If it could have been consensual. She's looking for a payday. We
It's
see
a
we
text message, sir.
we see what. So
The
what? A
text message
text message.
insinuates that he raped her, that she raped her.
A
In the
text
text
message
message,
from
he should
her
have
to
declined
him.
it.
A
He should have
text.
said, he said, I'll call you back later. When she did it in a text message, she said, you put your penis in my ass
Hold up,
without a
Judge,
condom. No
Judge.
means
How
no.
do you rape a woman that you've been in?
Yeah, don't say the R word too much
All
either.
right, but
Yeah,
You know what, sir?
YouTube
I'm
will
not
how
going to
censor
can
it.
how can
accept
you
what you're
how can you
saying. What you're
how can you accuse him of that when they've been in a relationship for like 2 years? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was, but if it was just money, whatever, it was 2 years, bro. Like he ain't do that to that girl, man. She, like damn well she looking for that check. You know what I'm saying?
But
and she
but
gonna get it. And she
if
gonna
I
get it.
mean,
if that's
The
hey,
point
hey,
is she
I don't got
shouldn't
nothing to
get
do
it,
with
and he
that.
should
She get
fight it.
it.
I
But
would fight if I was him.
Well,
I would
I
fight it.
agree. I agree with Peter. He should let it go all the way to a jury. But I don't think he's going to
She
do
was
that.
gonna settle for $10 million and he wouldn't do it. He's a
No.
dumb fuck. He about to lose his life.
all right, so I already
You
told you
said
about
the
this.
F word again, Judge.
So put Judge on a timeout. Drop her
Don't,
ass
don't,
down.
don't, because I want
Drop
to
her
tell
down to
y'all.
listener, Peter. Because I'm telling you,
No, but
like it can't be that hard. It's not that hard. So listen, I miss. I agree with what you're saying, and I do agree with some things you're saying too, Peter. When it comes to Shannon, I think for me, and maybe this is where you're coming from, I miss is he is too old and too grown of a man and too experienced not to know better. Like, come on.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean,
facts,
Dana, you're
facts.
right about that, and so a lot of I know there's lawyers that actually will draw up like cohabitation agreements
Yes.
with clients for their clients that are having women that stay at the house to exactly to buttress or to fight what you said about palimony, so they don't get it twisted that they think that they're
That's what
under
Tiger did that with that
But I'm
correct.
last
saying, what
woman.
was he supposed to know? Like,
well, yeah,
damn.
the what Tiger was ex girlfriend, she wanted palimony, and he told her to kick her out.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
sure
he moved
did.
her right out. And
He
it's
did.
smart. I mean, you have to do that in this environment. That's what I'm saying. These contracts, these marriage contracts are just that. These are contractual agreements. I know people get swept up in this love thing, this chemical reaction that happens in their brain. At the end of the day, the government is always looking to put their hands in your pocket no matter what. They're always looking to put their hands in places that doesn't belong. Don't give them another reason and an ability to be able to do it. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
And they do it with tax policy all day. They're doing it with these other contracts. It's
All right, I want
crazy.
to go to D, and you said Kev wanted to say something. Then I really want to close out.
Okay.
And it's funny
Oh,
though, because it seemed like it'll jump up to 84, and then it jumps down to 50. I don't know what is that about.
What the space?
Yeah.
I'm seeing it at 48 right now.
Yeah,
I
it was
know,
just
but
it was
it's
just
like
at
5 minutes
then it
ago.
went
It
to
shot
50.
up to 84. I saw that twice, and then it dropped down to 50. That's it. Never just does that. Like that's drastic. But go ahead, D.
Now D dropped.
I don't
I'm
know.
here.
All right, who
Something's
was
wrong with
it?
the space. It's been glitchy for me too tonight.
I'm here.
Oh, now you
There she.
okay?
Yeah, there she go.
Uh, I'm sorry. That was my fault. Hi, everybody.
Hey
Hey.
D.
Hi, Zena. Hi, Peter. Okay, so as far as are black people racist enough? I mean, I really can't speak on that. That's not something I'm gonna speak on because I can only be concerned with my own self, my own actions. And I think everybody should really be concerned with their own actions. And if and I think there would be a lot less hate if everybody just was focused on themselves more than what other people, regardless the race, like what you should be doing, what this one should be doing. Just focus on yourself more. But not to take this totally off topic, but I mean, in the last decade at least, I gotta say, I haven't really experienced race hate. I haven't really even seen anybody complaining about that. And I live in both New York and in Florida. So and in both areas, I'm surrounded by all races, right? So I'm not really outside of X in the real world. It's not really race. It's like left versus right. I think X is racist. I'm not kidding. Um, you see, like on X, you go in these little chat rooms, and everybody's got all these crazy individuals that are brainwashing people to hate race. When we have such a big a issue going on, at least in the last decade, and it's the left versus right. And I think that that's something we all should be more focused on. I think the left is brainwashed. They are literally coming for the blood of babies for the parents that voted for Trump. And that's what's being ignored. So I think, and there's all races on the left and there's all races on the right. So I think what's happening is bigger than race. I'm not saying that there's not a race problem in this country. Definitely not saying that. There is. But I think what we have going on right now, at least in the last decade, is bigger. Something else is brewing. And it's looking more towards civil war. And it's not civil war of blacks versus whites. It's civil war of left versus right, right? That's what it's looking more like. I mean, and if everybody just don't get it together and worry more about themselves and and control their own actions, too many people are ready to point the finger and they don't want to take accountability, regardless what race you are. Nobody's perfect in no race. There's racist, absolutely there's racist in every race. And if just like when Dana read the the dictionary, the meaning out of the dictionary before, it didn't state a specific race. So all races are racist. Absolutely. But I don't think that's the biggest problem that we have. I think the media wants us to believe it's the biggest problem that we have, but I think that there's something else brewing. And I think everybody just needs to get it together and worry about themselves, and that's it.
Appreciate it. And D, I want to point something out, and Immortal alluded to this earlier, as a separation between what he considered prejudice and racism, because there's a contingent of people who hold that you cannot be racist unless you have power to exert over another group of people, and that it's really prejudice what they're doing, because people who don't have power to exert over another group or to their detriment are only being prejudiced. But that's not what Webster says, and that's not the definition of racism. Racism is that you're favoring yourself or one group over another group, and that you are discriminating against a specific group of individuals. And that's the definition that I go with from Webster. Um, so I just wanted to point out that point as well. Let's go to
Who was it? Because
Kev.
I'm ready to close out. I'm tired.
I think it was Kev, and then the black had his hand up, and that should
And
be
then
it.
that. Okay, go ahead, Kev. Then I'm black.
I didn't want to be long. Just on the Shannon Sharpe issue, just wanted to say that him putting himself in that position is just even more. It's even more crazy than more I think about it, because he came from the South. He has a Hall of Fame brother who's older, who showed him the path. Savannah State, going through that going through that university. Talks about everything that y'all have said on last 30 minutes about him. Uh, he's already kind of addressed with Chad Ochocinco on his podcast, for instance. They talk about all of these kind of issues, yet you put yourself in this position. So that's all I got to say with that. As far as the racist thing, last thing I want to say on it is, like I said, racism is another ism, and most isms are hate. So we can't build on hate. We can only build on love, and hope we all have unity with that. One love to everybody. Have a good night.
Appreciate it, Kev.
Appreciate it, Kev.
Let's go to the black.
Yeah, on the Shannon Sharp situation, I feel like this is one reason why a lot of men don't want to get married because just some women. I don't understand the fact that some women feel like uh, if we separate, I have to maintain your type of lifestyle. It that don't make sense to me, but because it's like, especially if the woman initiated and you wasn't cheating. Now, if you were cheating, I understand. Yeah, go on, get her something. Especially if you have kids, I believe yeah, you supposed to support the child. But if y'all don't have kids together, y'all would just stand together, and you chose to leave without no infidelity involved, you just unhappy. Then yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have to maintain your lifestyle. And that's why most men don't want to get married or have children because they, they work so hard to gain a certain level and to lose it for uh over some emotions. It don't make sense. And to the what the lady said, the this is why I kind of want white people to separate who, like white people who actually been here since the inception of America, and the white people who just been coming since after the Civil War, because the way we look at politics is different, and y'all all don't identify as the same behind closed doors, and y'all don't actually speak about the inner tribal European beef y'all have behind closed doors because y'all have the covered the whiteness to hide behind. So and this is why we are separating, because y'all know the difference between black Americans and Africans and other black people from different areas in the world, because y'all treat them a certain type of way. Y'all feel more comfortable with them because most y'all don't have to deal with the history that we have with America, or y'all try to your best to ignore the history that we have with America. And that's why most black people, black Americans, don't identify with left or right or these different political ideologies. And we just, yeah, we look at y'all all the same at the end of the day. That's why most people are disengaged in politics, period, because it's a finesse. We worried about building our own. And that's why I say, yo, black people need to be a little bit more racist and self-centered and thinking about their own community and building, and not allowing people to wiggle their way in. Because the story that the other white lady said, like, I feel like it's not.
I got a question for
It's
you.
hold on. I feel like it's crazy that a person can get paid off a racist situation that actually didn't happen to them personally. You just witness it. Like that's crazy. Like how is that possible? That's how you know that people benefit from being around black people.
The black. You make a good point about your experience in the South, or being from Dallas, compared to my experience here in the Northeast. And it's so. I mean, from how I've experienced things in my whole life, 41 years being here, it's so integrated here. It's different than the experience that you're explaining in your perspective from being in the South or living in the South. I've never been down there other than to go to vacation to Florida for a week or two, and that was like in Miami or Lauderdale. And going, I went to Dallas once to go to a Cowboys game, and I was there for 4 days. So I have no perspective or point of reference. So I can only take you at your word and your experience. But I'm telling you, the places that I've grown up in, being in New York City, being in northern New Jersey, Newark area, I don't see these things. And
Facts, Peter.
I have
Facts.
so many black friends, and like from every walk of life, from guys that are C-suite executives that are making $1 million plus a year to gang members who did 20 years in Northern State Prison. So, I just it's so foreign to me, and I'm not denigrating your experience or saying it's untrue. It's just, I guess there's two or three different Americas depending on where you're from geographically that you've or we've gone through, or where our perspectives are shifted from or created from. And I'll
Yeah,
land there.
say it's a regional thing, and people need to focus on how the racism in a region instead of like doing this intersectionality of the whole country, because we all have different experiences and different histories when it comes down to how this country developed. Because yeah, I gotta go a couple of miles to see a white person, but I don't have no issues with white people, and I'm cool with them having their own communities, and they cool with us having our own communities. It's the middle parts that try to force the integration where I feel like most people have issues. Like you can't force what's not possible. You can only let be what's happening. And when we naturally do it, we good. And we and the history of America has proved that, because we have always came together to protect this country against everybody else. We can agree on that. We love this country.
Yeah, man. Um, like what Peter was saying, I was saying, yo, I ain't really, I don't, I'm from New Jersey. I ain't really experienced no racism like that. Nobody ever come out their mouth and disrespect me to my face. You know what I'm saying? If they was racist, they did it behind closed doors. They never addressed me as a man and said it. You know what I'm saying? And when you see like these black racists, a lot of these black racists, man, they be coming from the South.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
They be
Me
coming
living
from
in
the
Texas,
South, bro.
I deal with a white person before I deal with a Caribbean or African.
Why though?
But that's
See,
because Jamaicans brought crack to my
you
city,
see, you see what I'm talking
and
about?
that's why we don't deal with Jamaicans.
Where you from?
I'm from Dallas.
They did what? They brought crack to your city?
Yeah, the government
All
allowed them
right.
to
I
bring
mean,
crack to my city.
I ain't.
So
I mean, but black. I
that's
mean,
why
crack was.
my elders have this thing for Caribbeans and other groups from the diaspora, because
But
like
you know what's crazy
we
though?
have more
You
mistrust
know what's
for
crazy
other
though, bro?
black looking
You
people.
know what's crazy? In like up north, like New York, New Jersey. I'm gonna say Philly, Baltimore. That ain't the era of crack. Like it ain't no Jamaicans bought crack to them areas. Crack was just a thing around that time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm born in the '90s. I really, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you my experiences. What
Well,
I
you were born in the '90s, so you wouldn't know. And a lot of Jamaicans in Northeast in the tri-state area, they had organization, they had crime organization, so they was pushing a lot of weight.
okay, yeah, I could contribute to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we was doing a lot, but
Well, you weren't doing anything. You weren't there.
listen, Dana,
And
man,
then
on
when
some real,
crack, when
on some,
crack,
on
when
some,
crack dried out, you
hold up,
that's
hold
when
up,
you
hold
were
up,
probably what,
Dana,
10?
Dana, wait. I'm
You
a
weren't there,
listen. I
Mikey.
listen. I done
Mike,
did a
what year?
lot.
How old are you?
I'm 32, but I'm gonna tell you something.
You
I done.
weren't
Oh wow, you're
there.
I
young.
listen. I
You're
wasn't there
young,
in the
man.
'80s, but
You weren't
listen.
there in the '90s. You were a baby in the '90s.
Right. But I'm telling you as my experiences. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Like you seen Paid in Full, right? Come on,
That
crack.
wasn't your era. So how
I,
you didn't? What
but
I'm saying is
but
you
let's be
ain't go
real
through
though.
none
Is
of
what
that.
was crack a thing of just one community? Did Jamaicans just bring crack, or was
No,
crack
it
was
was
some
no,
shit
it
that was
wasn't
just
just
got
it wasn't
the
it wasn't
whole
just
United
Jamaicans.
States got hit
No,
with that shit?
It wasn't just no, it wasn't just Jamaicans, but they was pushing a lot of weight, and they had a very large organized crime organization.
That's
So,
facts. That's facts.
and it,
I'm
you know, and
saying
they bridged it from
that's facts.
New York to the
What was
Jamaica.
it?
So,
Shower Posse, right? Was one of the
yeah,
biggest
Shower
ones.
Pass was
Yep.
one of them, and others. So,
I'm
but
listen,
you,
listen.
but you weren't Michael. You weren't there. You were a kid. You were a kid.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't there. I wasn't there, man. You know what I'm saying? In the '80s, but my experience
You
and what
weren't
I
there.
done did,
I'm talking about when you were born in 1990. You were still a
1992,
kid. So you
1992.
when 2000 came, you was only 10 years old. So again, when
But when 2010
2015, you
came though, Dana, when 2010 came though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Mike,
I
that's
was
late,
full
man.
that's
Like
fledged. You
later.
know
Like ain't
I
nobody
was
thinking
going up
about
to
no
Washington
fucking
Heights in
like
1998, 1999, and I'm
nah,
learning about crack coming in from the Dominicans, and I had friends that saying that they knew the guy who invented crack from DR that brought it over and was flooding the streets up there with the wild
but let
cowboys.
me ask you
Like,
something though, bro. Was crack really like? Let's talk about cocaine, period, bro.
wait, hold on for a second, Mike. I want to go to Ish because I'm really getting tired.
Dana, you want me to bring up the Hotep,
Yeah,
Henrietta, and Monica?
bring up Hotep and Monica because they haven't spoken, and I want to go to Ish. Then I want to go to El Hotep and Monica, and then that's it because we've been going on. It'll be 3 hours
It's
at
crazy.
midnight.
Everybody likes to come at the end.
Yeah, and I'm just and you see it went up to 84 and then it dropped down to 48. I don't understand. I think it's that word
Yeah, the
racist.
space is
Yeah, they
glitching.
I
Something's
playing
wrong
think
with
it's
it.
the
with the
word
numbers.
racist. I'm not putting racist in the chat anymore.
We
I
could just use like a capital R.
Yeah. All right. Hi Ish.
Hi, Miss Dana. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I came up because he doesn't know what he's talking about. There were the Jamaicans, there were the Dominicans, there was also Nicaraguan Contra, the CIA Contra crack cocaine controversy. So there were various immigrant groups who were absolutely bringing cocaine into the country in various different areas, hemispheres of the country. And this is why people really need to do research. But a lot of this also was systemic from the MK Ultra, Operation Chaos, COINTELPRO eras from the 1950s going into the 1970s, early 1980s, where you're seeing, the experimentation of using different drugs. Crack was one of them, LSD was one of them, psilocybin, weed, and so on and so forth, and different things where they were literally kidnapping people on the streets, sterilizing them, putting them in asylums, putting them in prisons, so they could use various different drugs to experiment on them with mind control, and that's what MK Ultra was. So yes, people were doing that, and him and I are actually the same age, so that's not really an excuse. The fact that he grew up in the '90s is not really an excuse to
Let
just
me ask
say
you something
things.
though.
Please do not interrupt me because I didn't interrupt you. I raised my hand and waited for you to finish and waited to be called on. So go on mute. Mute
Go
up.
ahead.
Mute up. Thank you. Mute up. So anyway, I wanted to say that for the context of the room because people think that that's not a thing, and it really is a thing, right? That our government absolutely has done a multitude of different things when it comes to intentionally funneling drugs into communities. This whole fentanyl thing is another thing, right? Is That's its own thing as well. But that was happening with crack. It wasn't only happening with crack. It was happening with various other things. Even during I guess the late 1950s, 1960s movements, when you look at a lot of, there's actually a documentary about this on Netflix that you can watch. It kind of incorporates Charles Manson as well and that kind of whole era and how they were doing this, how they were taking people out of prisons as well to use or to practice MK Ultra, Operation Chaos, which Operation Chaos, COINTELPRO, and MK Ultra all overlapped with one another. So you're starting off with MK Ultra in the 1950s, and then it overlaps in with COINTELPRO, and that overlaps with Operation Chaos. And at one point, all three of them were functional at the same time before the quote unquote dissolution of them in the mid to late 1970s. So please do your research and don't just say things because anecdotals are not premise for facts and history.
Can I respond to her?
Yeah, let's give Mike a chance to respond. Go ahead, Mike.
I don't know who was just talking, but if you do your research in American history, you'll see that every era was hit with something. Before the crack game, it was dope. Dope was in America.
No, it was heroin.
Dope.
To
That's
be
dope,
specific.
dog. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what he means. That's what he
You know what I'm
means. The
saying?
black.
It was heroin. You feel me? Before crack.
Nobody contested
All
that.
right, all right, all right,
So
all
you
right.
just missed my point.
I'm landing on your point. I'm saying that.
No, you're not.
Can you stop interrupting me now, though? All right, thank you. Okay, we went from dope, and then we went to crack in the '80s, right? Which was only about 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the crack era, that whole cocaine shit that you talking about, even white people, fucking. I mean, damn, my bad. Even white people contributed to that. You know what I'm saying? They was flying it in the most. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just booked on one person. It's all different people came together in that era to help that drug trade.
Did I not just say that on the
Now,
stage? What is
now,
going
now,
on?
now, now,
Are you just trying to be
now,
contrarian or
now,
what?
now.
Like, what are we
Listen,
doing
hold up.
here?
Don't interrupt. You told me not to interrupt. Now we in the point. Do you know what era we in right now?
We'll interrupt with some.
We
Don't
are in
interrupt
the
with some
fentanyl
bullshit.
era. In the fentanyl era. So
I
who is contributing to that? Which what I'm trying to tell you, it's different times.
The Mexicans, the same players, the
Chinese,
Chinese, the
Chinese too.
Mexicans,
Yeah.
everyone. It's the same players from before. Now, I gotta be fair, Michael. You said the F word, so I want you to drop yourself down a listener. Y'all gonna learn today. Drop yourself down because Judge Sauer was dropped. So it's only fair. You gotta get dropped because you said the F word. Um
What's the F word?
Fuck. Nobody cannot say the F word because I'm streaming
Ooh.
on YouTube. um who was next? Who was
I think
next?
we have
Oh,
El Hotep and
yeah,
then
El
Monica.
Hotep, Monica, and then
Ish,
that.
you landed right. You did you want to add anything
I
to that?
I just don't. If I say right, because it wasn't. Don't respond to me just to be contrarian, and then regurgitate fractures of what I just said, because that's intellectually lazy. So if you're gonna have a rebuttal, have one. But don't put words in my mouth or change the framework of what I've said because then you just sound crazy. You just sound dumb. Stop doing that shit. Everything don't need a response. I said what I said and it was the truth.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the exchange. Let's go to Hotep and then Monica.
Yeah, yeah. What's the topic tonight? I see the title, but I don't know if that's the topic. What
So
y'all
okay, so
talking
El
about? I came in kind
Hotep,
of late.
you see the title, and you still confused about the topic.
Nah, I mean, cause I called in. I called in. And I'm hearing like drug conversation and shit like that. So I mean, I don't know really
Well,
what
that
y'all
was the
talking
theme,
about. I
right?
mean,
We
that's
went
what I kind
from
of
our
called in
black
on.
people.
I'll give you my opinion. Okay, since we're
Yeah.
talking about the topic, let me give you my opinion. Are black people racist? Let me pose you guys a question. Are black people racist? I don't think so.
No, are they racist enough?
Racism,
Should
yeah,
they be
yeah,
more
yeah.
racist?
I don't even think they're racist because racism, what comes with racism or being racist, control, right? Do black people have any control? So that's why let me pose that question to you because when I think of racism or racist, I think of some type of control. Black people collectively don't have any control. You're 14% of the population, and you're like 44 to 35% homeless. So to me, get your economic affairs in order first. You don't have any of that. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, what's going on. I came in late, so I really don't know. Let me ask you guys that question. I mean, you said are black people racist enough? I would say they're not racist at all. We have some type of hatred like any and everyone else, but as far as racism or racist, um, I don't really get you. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Should they
You
be
have to
more
have some type of
economically together? Meaning, should they pool their money economically so that they're spending within the community and not spending outside of the community any of the money that they're taking in?
uh course. But to do that, you gotta first get your money up out of the places like the church, um, and these corporate organizations. So until black people first get their money up out of these churches where these no good nigga preachers are at, then there could be some things that can get done. And until then, I don't think so. And I mean, so that's why I'm trying to figure that out. Like, if you're 14% of the population and you're 45 to 44% homeless, shit, man, it's some other shit you got to work on. And that's where I'm at with it. Actually, speaking to one of, he ain't even on here. I tell him that next week Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure y'all know who Dr. Randy Short is. He said something that was very interesting. In a time like today, you need to be focused on the financial side of things and not emotion. So that's where I'm kind of at with it right now. That's that's kind of the only thing that makes sense. If it ain't about dollars, shit don't make sense. So I mean, black people need to just get their economics in order. I
What do you
think
think
a
about
lot of that
Shannon
other
Sharp?
shit is distraction. Shit is distraction. There was rumors and allegations that he was gay. He could be behind this shit his own damn self. So I don't know. He could be behind this shit. I will
Why
ask you
would
guys
he
what you
be
guys think
behind a
about the movie Sinners.
$50 million lawsuit?
Hey, any and everything is possible. I don't know. I've seen some weird and seen some strange things before,
I
so
don't
I
think
don't know.
that's
It's just
it.
a
He's
theory.
just he's just an old pervert, and he got caught up. He got caught up out there by a 20-year-old snow bunny, and she got a
So
lawyer to walk his ass down and empty them pockets. That's all. He didn't set that
is
up.
is he wrong,
Because what's
Dana?
about to
Is he
come?
wrong,
So what's
Dana?
about
Though
to
for
happen? What's about to happen is it's like what do you call it? It's like a protocol. Once when you get one accusation, then everybody come out. So it's a role play thing that's going on. He didn't orchestrate that because don't nobody want that. He already got fired from ESPN. He claimed he's going to step himself down and he'll come back during NFL season. No, sir, they don't want you to come back because you have another allegation that just came out today. So this is what is that term? This is the this is
Catalyst.
for effect?
yes,
Catalyst.
Piling on.
the pilot, or this is the play. That it's the play. It's similar to what I'm saying. It's like it's that this is how they play it. It's what do you call it? No, it's like a format. It's another
Well, whenever it's the catalyst,
Formula.
right?
formula.
The
Yes. So
catalyst.
no, that's what it is. Formula. This is the
Was it worse
formula
enough that the
they
audio
use
came
to.
out, or was it the audio?
It was everything, sir. It was the fact that she was 20 and she was white, and she said that this big black man did this to me, and I said no. Case closed. Case closed.
Almost makes you want to do what um, the Mossad does and video and audio record everything that's going on because
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
man.
have
Hey, it's a
evidence to
honeypot.
protect yourself.
It's a honeypot. We know.
Yep.
All right, who was next? Oh, El
We had
Hotep. Were you
Monica.
finished? El Hotep
Hotep, did
was
you? Yeah.
good.
Did you?
But I wouldn't doubt that he would like pretend he was dealing with a white girl and then come out as gay.
That's funny.
I
Guys,
don't think that's happening. Hotep, did you land?
Nah,
we
I'm
can't
still
even
here.
hear
I
him.
was going to ask you about that movie, Sinners. Did you guys get a chance to see it?
Okay, I'll
Yeah, it
wait.
was great.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Are you
Dana,
at
have you
work,
seen it?
El
What's it?
Hotep? Are you at work?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on the grind right now.
Oh, because I was about to say, honey, you tippy toeing here, and you want us to recap from 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Nah. Nah.
But I know you work
Nah.
crazy hours apparently. So
Yeah. And then part of it, I was asleep. So I sometimes I'm just getting up, and then when I get to work, get situated, stuff like that. So I didn't even know you guys were gonna be on today. So
oh,
yeah,
I
that
gotta
was
see
that
your
was kind of
direct
why.
link. All right.
Yeah, we're on Thursdays and Sundays.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna tap in on Sunday too.
Yeah, I think I'll dive deeper into centers on Sundays and just flip the topic. But go ahead, Monica.
Thank you, Miss Dana, for letting me speak. I just, I really don't understand why there's so much division going on right now, and it's very confusing to me because I think like there's right and there's wrong,
And I think so many people are trying to be tribal and like trying to be like, oh, I'm, white. And so I got to agree with whatever white people are saying, or I'm black and I need to agree with whatever black people are saying. And I just think that people need to embrace, like, morally their inner soul and like what is right and what is wrong. Because I can see that they're trying to divide us amongst race, and it's like the deep state or the government, whatever it is. And you can see it with the Carmelo thing, especially because everyone, that's agreeing with Carmelo like hates white people. It's very obvious, and they're okay with the white person getting killed, and then like they want everyone, you know that doesn't agree with that to be called racist. And so I would just like to get everyone's opinion on that in the chat. Thank you for letting me speak.
What opinion did you want exactly?
I just want to know, like, what you think about the whole situation. I mean, I know we don't know all the facts yet because we haven't been able to see the evidence in the trial.
You're talking about
You
Carmelo
know,
Anthony, right?
yeah, yeah. I just want to know, like, what we know right now. Like, why is everyone? I mean, not all black people, but a lot of black people are like supporting Carmelo Anthony, and like he literally murdered someone.
Okay,
And if a white
nah,
Go
go.
ahead.
if a
I
white
did want to
guy
comment on
did
that, but
that,
I'm gonna let her finish that.
if a white guy did that to a black guy, I would be like, fuck that dude. Like, and I'm white, I'd be like, fuck that white dude.
Oh,
He
I'm
can't
sorry,
stab.
Monica. You can't say the F word.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
It's not that we
sorry. But
care. It's because we're broadcasting on YouTube at
Yeah.
the
And
same
now I'm
time.
not gonna drop you down because you're new up here. But yeah, we can't
I
say
love
the
you,
F word.
Dana.
Go ahead. Go
But
ahead. Here's your
I would definitely be like, if it was a white dude doing it to a black guy, I'd be like, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. Like, and I just don't understand why there's like so many black people that are like supporting what he did.
Well, all right. I'm
And
gonna I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So, what? How did you feel about Jordan Neely?
Oh,
Jordan Neely, can you give me a background real quick? Just a
You
summary,
don't
quick.
know about it. Okay. So Jordan Neely was choked and was restrained, and a lot of people say that he was murdered by Daniel Penny on a subway
Oh,
train.
on the subway. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that at all.
Okay.
Don't leave out the fact that he was autistic. Jordan Neely was
Yeah, I
autistic.
don't
Right.
agree.
Don't leave out that fact. He murdered an autistic man.
I don't agree with
Okay, so
that. No,
who had
I
just
don't.
buried his mother.
a
Who had
hungry,
just
scrawny,
buried his
autistic
mother, by
man.
the way.
Jordan
all
Neely
right.
was
One
weak
second,
and
guys.
So
scrawny.
Hold
just
on.
keep that
Hold
in
on. One
mind.
second, guys.
Okay, I don't agree with that. I just said it. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right. I don't think he should have
Oh
been.
no, my comment was to Peter, Monica, because
Oh,
Peter
okay.
conveniently left that part out. I think that part needs to be added for proper context so that people know, right? That Jordan Neely was an autistic man who had
Yes,
just buried his mother, right? And so like people have made it okay. People have made his death okay, and are not calling it what it is.
not me.
That Daniel Penny murdered an autistic man, a
Yeah,
mentally autistic man.
yeah, I
So
don't agree with
let's put
that.
it into perspective.
Well,
I don't agree with that at
all
all.
right. So,
No,
but that was Peter's question to you. But here's the thing, though, where anybody stands, and you do see majority white people standing with the Metcalfs, and you see majority of black people standing with Carmelo Anthony.
I don't know the story behind the whole. I
Well,
need the
none of us
evidence.
know the
Well, you
none of us
should, yeah, you should
know the complete
educate
whole
yourself.
story. But this is the point that I'm making. Is the media is trying to make it into like a race war, black versus white, and a lot of people are
Exactly.
falling. A lot. Let me finish. A lot of people are falling for it. But I will say this: I think black people, outside of the people who think like Mark Carter, no shade to Mark Carter, but
Tariq
he's
Nasheed.
very he's very no, not him. He's very extra with it. But
I
But have you
think
hyperbolic,
seen what
it's
politically?
hyperbolic
wait
to say
one
the
second,
least.
just 1 second, guys. Damn, it's the fact that Black people are concerned with Carmelo Anthony getting a fair trial. And that goes without saying. So whether people say he should have or shouldn't have used the knife or whatever, I don't think he should have had a knife because you wouldn't be in that predicament. And if you do have a knife for protection, your family needs to teach you when and when not to use it. And they need to teach you if you do use it and someone possibly dies, these are the consequences. See, that was left out of his teaching of having such a knife if they knew he had it, because kids do dumb shit. He did not mean to kill him, but at the same time, he did. However, he is entitled to a fair trial. And when we look at the climate of our justice system here, one, he's not wealthy, and two, he is a Black boy. So those are like two strikes against him. So the main concern, I would say this for majority of Black people who are pro Anthony, it is because they want to see him get a fair trial. And then there are other people that add on other things saying, well, it was self defense, he was protecting himself. Well, so what? Blah, 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 blah. But I would say the main number one, the one thing that everyone can agree on when if you're Black, they want to make sure he get a fair trial, which is why he was able to raise over $400,000, which is a good thing, so that he can hire a good defense. So yeah, so you are right in a sense of Black versus white with this, but the media plays a lot of part. But technically, that's not the topic right now. So, but thank you, Monica. Um, who? Okay, I see a couple of hands. And we're past the 3 hour mark. Real quick, 30 seconds. El Hotep, 30 seconds. Immortal, and then I want to close out. Oh, I want to say something then close out. Actually, let me say this right now, just to do a recap. So the question I said, are Black people racist enough? And I said enough to the point to where, yes, Black people have practiced racism within our own group. And here go a couple of examples. Brown paper bag test, that goes back decades and centuries. Colorism, that's still
What is that,
rampant.
Dan? I don't know what that is. The brown paper
Well,
bag test.
sororities back in the day, for centuries ago, sororities like AKAs, they have put a brown paper bag next to your arm, to your skin, and if you were darker than a brown paper bag, you could not pledge in that sorority. If you were lighter than a brown paper bag, then you can pledge. So yeah, that is pure racism. I'm sorry. Colorism, that is still a thing in the Black community. Classism, i.e., the boule, African tribes. To this day, and from centuries, African tribes were not all, let's all get along. No, they will be at war with each other. They, have a disdain. Another example where African tribes, when you look at the Hutu and the Tutus in Rwanda and that whole genocide, you talk about Black on Black crime. Like, come on, that was over 500,000, close to 1 million people that was slaughtered by the hands of their own people. But the fact is that you will hear a lot of Rwandans saying, well, the Belgium, was white supremacy because they colonized. I don't give a fuck because a white man didn't tell you. I just said the F word, but technically it's my space. But I don't care because the white man didn't tell you to put a sword in your hand and to slice up women and babies and men. So even different countries in Africa practice racism. And also, it was a video. It was under Philip Scott, one of his channels. They did a quick video on segregation that's going on in Ghana. So, how do you say Guyanans? I guess how you call somebody in Ghana. Well, the Ghana people, they are discriminating against the Black Americans who moved there. They give them land if they're able to purchase land, but it's like in a separate section of a city. So you have the Black Americans land over here and then the natives over there. So they're like practicing segregation. But you're supposed to be, oh, come back home and what's that? What is it was the marketing ploy thing, that bullshit. But and then when you look at BET, when Bob Johnson sold it to Viacom, a white corporation, and look at the content of BET after that. It was just low grade content. Even going further back in the 80s, George Michael, he was a white artist who won for best R&B artist in 1987, and he beat out Whitney Houston at the American Music Awards. Where was the uproar with that? And then I also added Peter's people, well, half his people. Neapolitans looked down on Sicilians. Sicilians were called niggas with straight hair. So listen, people within their own tribe, race, religion practice racism. Black people has, so I said, are black people racist enough? Meaning to the fact that when you look at Jewish communities, when you look at Arab communities, when you look at Indian communities, and even white communities, they practice group economics within themselves first to so that they could build up their group where they live at. We don't do that. So they don't come out their mouth and say, I'm not selling to black people. No, it's just that Jewish people own buildings, their commercial real estate, they own their homes. So when they're selling homes, you're going through a Jewish agent, you have a Jewish appraisal. Everybody is Jewish within different aspects of a community in different industries. So they work within, they keep everything within. So they're not verbally, outwardly saying we're racist or we're better. They're just doing it with their actions, keeping it in house. And we're not practicing that. So we are not racist enough in that aspect. And so, and I'll put hashtag Shannon Sharpe because his old ass is trending. Sinners, tethers, and that was a summary of tonight's topics. And we started at 9 p.m. Peter, going forward, I think I'm going to start at 10 because people do start rolling in a little bit later at night, I noticed. And I like to do for 3 hours. So, yeah. I want to go to, what was it? El Hotep, Dinner Immortal. And then, Peter, you say what you want to say, and then we'll close out. Unless you want to say something now, Peter.
No, it sounds good. Let's go to Hotep.
We can't hear you, El Hotep.
Hotep.
All right, something's going on with your phone. Let's go to Immortal.
Oh, I just gonna close it out by saying just anything that people do against each other is not racist. If one country go to war against another country, that's not racist. If one tribe goes to war against another tribe, that's not racist. Racism is what was studied and found out to be the definition that I put in the blue pill. Everything bad because that's why racism is allowed to continue. Because people say, "Oh well, everybody does it." No, everybody doesn't do it. Not racism, not according to the definition that I know. And according to the definition that I know, in order to practice racism, number one, you got to be white. That's who racism is for. It's not for me. Racism is not helping me. It's not doing anything for me or any black person. There's nothing about racism that's benefiting any black person and nothing about racism that we even able to accomplish with the resources that we have now. You know, you want to talk about bigotry, war, that happens for all types of different reasons. And when you say about the massacres over in Africa, and you say, well, white man didn't put the gun in my eye, I beg to differ. White man, they do go over there. They, European powers, yes, they do put those guns and tell them go
Well,
kill
they
the other
didn't do
person
that
over
in
there. Yes, they sure
Rwanda,
do.
sir. They did not do that in
They sure
Rwanda.
do. Okay,
They
who
did
built the
not.
who built the
Slow down because you don't know the history of that genocide in Rwanda. The Belgians did not tell them to go and slice up and shoot up and rape and all this stuff to someone who is a Tutu. And they all, first of all, look alike, but Hutu Tutu. So they again, no one didn't tell you, no one didn't put the swords, the machete in their hands. You really think so? You mean to tell me those the millions of Africans in Rwanda, right? Those soldiers, you mean to tell me you're going to give them a pass? You want to give the Hutus a pass and blame it on a white man in Belgium, the country of Belgium, and so you want to give these people that murdered innocent people a pass because what? because they're black and because of colonialism?
When I say, I'm not giving out passes. I'm not giving out passes. I'm just speaking the truth.
Nobody didn't.
None
No,
of
no,
that.
no.
Neither one.
Nobody didn't
Neither one
tell
of
you.
those
But see,
people.
you're arguing. You
Neither.
arguing me about the fact that, well, somebody did put a machete in their hand. No, nobody did not. And if somebody told you to pick it up and kill an innocent person, why would you do it? Why would you do that? So again, nobody didn't force them to do that. So my point that I was trying to make is they have that. Just because you're black doesn't mean we're all family. And a prime example of different tribes in the continent of Africa. And I gave more specific example of Rwanda genocide, killed by the hands of other Rwandans. And that is a whole fact. And that is why when people, I guess Africans and they get upset, or you calling me a tether, or Caribbeans you calling me a tether. Okay, fine. Say if you not a tether, but at the same time, let's talk about your country and the racism and the bigotry and the discrimination and all the things that you point negative here. You're doing it where you're from, which is probably most likely why you're here in the first place. So everybody throughout this world practice some form of racism. But I'm trying to go a little bit deeper tonight, is the fact that take out the evils or negatives of it. I'm looking at it as a group. I said enough. I think we do need to be more enclosed and work on making our group economically stronger and have a stronger structure, because we are really open to everybody. We are open to all minorities, which weakens our race. And it does sound racist for me to say that. But at the same time, you can't call me a racist when somebody else, another person, can't call me racist when their group is practicing the same thing, which is why their group is more advanced than mine. So it's funny that somebody will be quick to call you a racist from another group, but when you look at their group is more advanced in every area than yours, and that is because they practice group racism. So it's I kind of went left, but and it's a little bit of a deep conversation that we really don't have on X. But the reality of it is, whether it's discrimination, whether it's prejudice, whether it's bigotry, whether it's racist tactics, every group have participated in it. Period. And I'm just saying we are not doing enough as Black people to make sure that we're building up our group stronger. We're not. So go ahead, Peter. I'm tired.
Yeah, it was a great space. If you haven't seen Sinners, go check it out. It's a really great movie. The cinematography was incredible, and we're going to discuss it, I think, on Sunday. And support Shannon Sharpe. I'd like to see
Support.
him.
Oh no. So what's her name? Gabby. Support Gabby.
I don't even.
Support Gabby.
I don't know.
Support That's No Bunny, honey.
I think it's just a money grab,
Yes,
but
yes.
that's my
And
two
I want her
cents.
to grab every piece of dollars and cents that she can get from
Me
it.
too.
I want her to grab it. Yes, I do. Peter, we gotta start at 10 o'clock on Thursdays, but we could start at 7 on Sundays. But I think 10 o'clock on Thursdays. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's better because a lot of people do come out at this time, and we find an influx of speakers trying to come up when we're getting ready to close. So yeah, let's move it back an hour.
Yeah, and I'll just
I
make
think
sure
it's
I
a good
take a nap
idea.
during the day. I don't think I'm gonna put the word races in the title because it went up to 111, then it dropped down to 60. I don't know. It's probably some glitching, and I know X and their communities and everything, they going through some things. I don't know. I think X is starting to become woke. So, but listen, thank you everybody that's hung out with us on YouTube. I will be dropping the YouTube link underneath this space, so if you guys want to go back and listen to the beginning, and please join us, me and Peter, on Sunday. Sundays does get a little bit more spicy, But all the speakers that came up today, I really appreciate you guys. Great speakers. Everybody listening, I appreciate you as well. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. Anything else you want to say, Peter?
No, have a great weekend. Be
Yeah,
safe.
Peter, because
Enjoy
you
yourself.
worried
And
about buying them damn memes.
that's right. I am. But I wasn't doing it during the show. I was just sitting here letting people speak.
Yeah, but I
So
can tell in your
maybe
voice you tired. Like, I don't know. You real mellow.
I was tired tonight. But listen, maybe we'll talk about that as well a little bit on Sunday, how to buy memes and how to get into crypto and get your foot in the water, dip your toe in.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week.